Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial. It's an overflow crowd at Spears Stadium on the campus of the McCallie School for a rematch of last year's Class 3A Division II state championship game as the Blue Tornado welcome in the Baylor Red Raiders. Hello, everybody. Alongside Scott McMahon, Mackenzie Johnson, I'm Chris Goforth. Glad to have you with us tonight. And, Scott, I don't know how many years we've been at Baylor McCallie together, and I feel like every year we leave and you go, well, it can't possibly get any bigger. And yet every year it gets a little bigger.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. The atmosphere is just through the roof, and just the people shoehorned in here are just amazing. But this is just a game that's full of top prospects in the state of Tennessee. We'll get into the details on that in just a little bit. And I know it starts with offensive linemen, and they've got a bunch of them here on both sides, red and blue.
Joel Bradford, who's the head coach at McCallie, told us he couldn't remember McCallie ever having this kind of size across the offensive line. Quake, they average 6'4", 300 pounds.
It's amazing because Musa Sek is their guy that's going to lead them, number 78, 6'4", 335. And as you said, Joel Bradford told us that this is the biggest offensive line he thinks in McCallie history. And then on the flip side, you got one at Baylor and all the red that is 1,500-plus pounds combined, led by Tennessee commitment Gabe Osenda, the left tackle. He's 6'8", 320, and it's just going to be an amazing night with some big-time prospects on this field.
Baylor's offensive line, a shade bigger, 6'5", 305. Yeah. So a lot of big bodies going at it in this game. We're going to see a couple of good quarterbacks tonight. We'll talk a lot about those. Now, the question mark this week coming into this game for Baylor has been the health of their Mr. Football running back in David Gabriel George, who was bothered by a lower leg injury over the last week. Scott, we can now tell you he's dressed. He's gone through pregame workouts. He looks ready to go.
He does look ready to go. I mean, he was not even kind of gingerly on the ankle, so it looks like he'll be at full strength. And if you remember last year, on their first possession, he put the foot in the ground, and I mean, it was like a rocket shot to the end zone. This guy's got tremendous skills. He's a junior. He's already listed as the number one prospect in the state of Tennessee for next year's class, and his full skills, I would imagine, will be on display tonight.
For Baylor at quarterback, it's Briggs Cherry. His head coach, Eric Kimmery, said that he was maybe the best passing quarterback in the country in high school football.
His accuracy is ridiculous. There's Briggs Cherry, 6'5", 212, committed to Louisville. He's thrown for 12 touchdowns on the season and 0 interceptions. So that is about as accurate as you can be. He's had a tremendous season. And like I said, we'll end up at Louisville playing on Saturdays. But he's got a big one here tonight.
On the flip side, you've got McCallie, their quarterback, Elliot Drapeau. He won a state championship last year.
Yes, he certainly did. And they beat Baylor in the state championship. Drapeau can get some things done. Big arm, big talent. He can also run, too. He's a guy that's sneaky fast, athletically, and we'll see what he can do tonight, too.
This stadium hosts about 4,000 people now. We're going to cram more than twice that in here tonight.
Easy.
Let's head down to the sidelines, check in with the third member of our team, Mackenzie Johnson. She's making friends on the sidelines.
Thanks, Chris. I'm here with Big Will. Now, Will, as a Chattanooga native, I'm very familiar with Baylor and McCallie. Been to a few games myself. For you, what's it like being here to experience that?
It might be my first game here at Baylor McCallie, but it feels like I've been waiting my entire life to be a part of this rivalry. I mean, before I moved here a month ago, people were telling me about this rivalry, but it's not until you live here. It's not until you spend a week in this town, the whole Spirit Week, do you really understand just how special blue versus red is. I mean, all week, all around town, you can just feel the buzz, the energy, and right now in this stadium, I mean, I've never been a part of anything like this for a high school football game. You know what? All the activities are done.
So it's living up to your expectation.
Undeniably it is. I mean, it's exceeding my expectations, but you know, all of the fun is done, all of the Spirit Week is done. It's time for the real fun. It's time to play some football, and I'm so ready for this football game tonight.
Perfect. I'm so glad you are. But before we do that, we do have to look at the keys to the game presented by by CHI Memorial. For Baylor, the away team, they want to stop the run, but on the other hand, they want to focus on running the ball. They want to win the turnover battle, and they want to win those explosive plays that I'm sure are going to happen tonight. For McCallie, the home team, they want to limit those explosive plays. They will also want to win the turnover battle, and they want to stay on schedule on their offense.
All right, thank you very much, Mackenzie. Thanks to you and Will, having a good time on the sidelines. We'll come back. We are set to kick it off here. When we return, we'll get a look at the starting lineups. We'll have our coin toss for you. Dr. Pepper, Friday Night Rivals, presented by CHI Memorial. Welcome back as we get set for Baylor and McCallie tonight from the McCallie School. Chris Goforth, Scott McMahon with you. Kickoff coming up here in just a few more minutes. We'll get a look at our starting lineups, and we'll have the coin toss for you coming up in just a minute. Let's send it back down to the field where Mackenzie Johnson is standing by with our friends from Dr. Pepper.
Thank you, Chris. Clayton, what does it mean to be here tonight? What's so special about tonight?
Well, tonight is a battle between two formidable opponents, arguably the largest and the biggest rivalry in the state. It's going to be a good one.
So for a newcomer like me, what is some advice that you might have?
I would say the biggest thing would be, instead of drinking water in the pregame, drink a Dr. Pepper. It'll go better for you.
All right, I'll keep that in mind. Thanks. Back to you, Chris.
Thank you very much. Mackenzie Johnson down on the sideline with our friend Clayton McMasters from Dr. Pepper. All right, quick, let's get a look at your starting lineups tonight. We'll take a look at the starters first for the visitors from Baylor. We've talked about the quarterback a little bit, Briggs Cherry. We've talked about the offensive line. We've talked about David Gabriel George. How about the wide receiver in the Tennessee commitment in Jamian Theodore?
Yeah, he is impressive. Such a great talent, tremendous ball skills with his hands, 6 feet, 170 pounds. And if you remember last year's game, he had 3 interceptions in the first quarter and a half. That's the kind of difference maker that Jamie and Theodore can be.
And you want to know how big this game is, and we talked about it a little bit with Eric Kimmery this week. That was the game last year that put last season that put Jamian Theodore on the map. He ended up getting a Tennessee offer the next week.
That's exactly right. I mean, it was that big of an impact in last year's game. So certainly he is committed to the Tennessee Vols. And as you see, 79, Gabriel Osenda, who we spoke about earlier, number 2 player in the state. He's also committed to the Vols, 6'8", 320, already has that college offensive line size.
Let's get a look at your help cooling starting defensive lineup now for the Baylor Red Raiders. A familiar name defensively, Kaz DiMatteo, his son. Kaz, of course, a tremendous wide receiver in his college days at UTC and has been on staff at Baylor for a number of years. His son, one of the starting linebackers.
He certainly is. As a sophomore, 6'2", 185 pounds, and Kaz has got a tremendous athletic family, and just, kind of the expectations is set there, and you've just got some great players all around. The safety, Colby Barrett, you see number 8 there, 6'2", 205. He's a Mississippi State commit. He's the number 37 player in the senior class in the state of Tennessee.
Let's get a look at the starting lineups now for McCallie. We talked about their quarterback in Elliott Drapeau. We've talked about the offensive line. How about Keyshawn Tabito, the Vandy commit? Scott, we've been seeing this guy make plays in this game since he was a sophomore.
There's no doubt about that. 6'1", 180. Great length and just electric with the football in his hands. He's the number 11. I hate to keep repeating this, but it is a part of the story. The number 11 player as far as the senior class goes in the state of Tennessee.
And defensively for the Blue Tornado, Cooper Gentle, their leading tackler, a bull in a china shop. That's the way his head coach described it.
No question. And last week alone, 14 tackles, 10 solo, had 6 quarterback hits, 5 tackles for a loss, 4 sacks. And that's one game last Friday, Chris. That is just amazing. Cooper Gentle, number 17, is the engine that makes their defense go.
5 guys on that McCallie defense currently holding offers to go play someplace else on Saturday next year. So
no question.
It's a very talented group of guys. So
very impressive.
A lot of talent on both sides of the field, and we're just about set to get this underway. Again, this is a rematch of 2 teams that played at Finley Stadium for a state championship last year, and it feels like it's been a classic every time they get together.
Yeah, in the regular season, Baylor kind of had their way with McCallie but up 21 points at halftime up 21 points in the first half. Baylor was against McCallie last year. McCallie storms back to steal that Gold Ball State trophy from Baylor. So there's some serious history in this rivalry, the 95th meeting, but it doesn't get any bigger than it is this year.
Tonight and all season, the Tennessee Army National Guard joins us for the coin toss. We'll hear from them coming up later on in the show as you see the captains meeting at midfield. We'll get our coin toss. Both teams are poised and ready to run onto the field, so we'll be ready to kick this thing off very soon. This is a series that McCallie leads the all-time win total with 44. 38 wins for Baylor. There have been 3 ties, and the McCallie folks will very quickly tell you they've won 10 out of the last 13.
Yes, they have. Yes, they have.
So we've got our coin toss.
There you go.
McCallie has won the toss. They will receive Blue Tornado ball. When we come back, we kick it off. It's Baylor McCallie. Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial. It's an overflow crowd tonight at Spears Stadium for Baylor and McCallie. JPA2 ready to kick it off for Baylor. McCallie sends back the speedsters in Keyshawn Tabato and Levi Scott with a chance to return it. A2 will handle the kickoffs for Baylor. Sam Shutters will handle kicking and punting duties. Our Aspire Dermatology kickoff, and we are underway. A high end over end kick goes into the end zone. Bring it out for the touchback, and McCallie will go to work on offense.
They'll be led by their senior quarterback, Elliot Drapeau, 6'5", 200 pounds. Just a total team first guy. Very, really good manager of the game. And also the running back, Xavier Filion, who is just a workhorse, junior number 0. So you're going to have some tremendous players. You mentioned Keyshawn Tabato, the receiver that's committed to Vanderbilt. And they've got some other guys that will obviously contribute here on this offense. Interesting that they take the ball first after winning the coin toss. Here comes the Blue Tornado.
And it's an empty set for Drapeau and the quarterback draw. And Drapeau picks up 5 up to the 25-yard line before he is knocked down.
Smacked down by Keaton Whaley and Colby Barnett from a safety position. Whaley comes from that linebacker spot, but you're going to see a lot of running the football, I feel, from the quarterback position with McCallie tonight.
This will be Chris Lloyd, the senior in the backfield. Lloyd has ran for 370 yards and 7 touchdowns this season. And here he gets the call on second down, and Lloyd straight ahead for a first down for the Blue Tornado.
Stopped by Colby Barrett, but not until the Blue Tornado pick up that first down. Chris Lloyd just puts that head down, great feet and vision, and gets that first down. Knew exactly how far he had to get to the line to gain. Here you say, take another look at it. Barrett gets on top of him, but not until they can get the first down.
Again, an empty set for Drapeau. And again, the quarterback draw. Gets to the 35, and he's wrapped up there. There's a host of white jerseys there on the stop, including Hans Emery Julian.
Cosmo DiMatteo in on it. Corey Faulkner from his inside linebacker spot. It was a group tackle for the Baylor Red Raiders.
McCallie off to a 5-1 start this season. This offense averaging 31 points per game. The one loss they had came against Innsworth. That was on the road in Nashville. They bounced back the next week, beating the number 6 team in the country in Mission Viejo. Setting up now, Drapeau taking a deep shot downfield, incomplete pass, no penalty flags.
Ooh, looked like some late contact there, but no penalty flag. Clearly the referee's closer to it than I am, that's for sure. So well defended by Baylor. Get another look at it here. And Drapeau shows off his arm. That is a bomb he sends down the field.
Aiming for Loya Valad.
That's contact I was talking about, but maybe ruled an uncatchable play. Defended well by Jordan Darian Gia, the junior cornerback for Baylor.
Drapeau down, the first third down for McCallie over the middle and an incomplete pass at the 50-yard line, going back for Valad. And it's fourth down. McCallie will be forced to punt it away on their first possession.
Valad's another guy. Dropped that one that he probably should have caught. He probably wishes he'd have caught it. But a Kentucky offer is what Valad has as a junior. Very athletic guy.
Malachi Jacob, he's averaging 36 yards a punt. To kick it away from McCallie, Jamian Theodore, the Tennessee commitment, with a chance to return it. And a nice punt by Malachi Jacob.
With a big bounce.
Rolling inside the 10-yard line and out of bounds. A heck of a punt by Malachi Jacob.
And that huge bounce. He got a nice one there to back up the Red Raiders as they start on offense. Briggs Cherry, their quarterback, comes in. Super accurate, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast. 6'5", 212 pounds. And as Coach Kimry told us, he's beyond elite. Just composed, grasps everything in the offense. And Coach Kimry believes there's not a better passer in the country.
David Gabriel George is in the backfield with Cherry. Baylor from their own 10-yard line, and here goes George. Tries to make the turn, and the McCallie defense will string him out and guide him out of bounds.
Played well by that McCallie defense, and Miles Williams was one of the guys that got him strung out to where he couldn't turn it up. Malachi Jacob also had that edge. That was well defended because, boy, David Gabriel George can turn a game over in about 2 seconds. This guy has got jet-like speed. It's crazy.
Eric Kimmery called him the best football player I've ever coached. And here he comes again. This time between the tackles, and again he's shut down by the McCallie defense.
Defense just kind of blew up what that blocking scheme that Baylor had as far as their offensive line. And defensive front from McCallie just attacked the ball carrier and was able to get some serious penetration, at least keep him to the original line of scrimmage.
McCallie forced to punt after they couldn't convert on a third down on their opening possession. Here's Baylor now as the McCallie fans get loud. George in the backfield. And here goes George. Sidesteps one, and he's dropped. Cut down by McCallie's Fisher Finch. The Davidson commitment makes the third down stop.
Also Malachi Jacob in there too, Fisher French. That was some heck of a defensive stand, and I know we're earlier in the game, and I failed to mention this earlier. You got to understand the nerves. These kids have been hearing about it all week long, probably all year long, but specifically this week, it is all that their school and their classmates are talking about, and the first couple minutes, man, you've just got to have just the biggest nerves. You got to get by that, and usually that second possession, you can kind of settle into the game and be able to do some things. But what a great defensive stand from McCallie's defensive front.
Here's Shutters. Gets the punt away. Takes a Baylor bounce across the 50-yard line. Rolls down to the 44-yard line, and that's where McCallie will take over with a first down and 10. Starting at their own 44-yard line. Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial. Scoreless in the first quarter. 8:16 remaining in the first quarter. Chris Goforth, Scott McMahon, Mackenzie Johnson with you from McCallie. Each team has had the ball one time. They've both punted one time. McCallie set to take it for the second time. One of the keys to this game for Joel Bradford this week was to eliminate the explosive plays, and we saw that there, Scott. They did a really nice job in containing David Gabriel George, who you mentioned can be a game breaker or a game wrecker, depending on which side you're on.
Exactly. They did a fine job on him in that possession.
Drapeau on the option. It's the pitch out to Filion. able to slip past one, and then he's tripped up by Keaton Whaley.
Whaley and Kobe Barrett again, both those guys super active earlier in this game.
Whaley, a kid that's played all over the place at Baylor. He's played some corner. He's played some safety. They had a need at linebacker. He's 180 pounds, and they stick him in at linebacker, and you see how well he plays.
But he's got those defensive back skills, so that's something that you can bring to an outside linebacker position where you're covering guys out of the backfield and the like.
Drapeau back to throw. He's got some time. Takes a shot up into coverage, and it's incomplete.
Intended for Levi Scott, the freshman. Defended well by Kobe Barrett, but really there wasn't much of a passing lane for Drapeau to try to drop that in.
Well, another third down for the McCallie offense. They are 0 of 1 tonight on third down. Coming into this game, they were converting at about a 52% rate.
And I know the old cliche of throw all the records out the window in this series, but that's what it's been in this tremendous rivalry here in Chattanooga.
Back to an empty set for Drapeau as he looks to the sideline on a third down and 11. Play clock is at 5. And we'll get a timeout. McCallie will ask for the timeout as the Blue Tornado will look to talk things over.
Trying to get a peek of what that defense is, how that defense lined up.
Make sure you stick around for our halftime report. It's presented by Big Woody's Tree Service. We'll have this week's Scholar Athletes, as well as a look at some first half highlights. All that is coming up on our Big Woody's Tree Service halftime report. Scoreless game so far. McCallie faced with a third down and long on their second possession of McCallie program that went 11-2 last year, won the state championship, their second in a row, knocking off this Baylor team in the process after Baylor won in a remarkable game a year ago over at Red Edder Stadium on the Baylor School campus. So Chris Lloyd in the backfield now with Drapeau on this third down. Drapeau lofts it downfield, incomplete pass. Again, no penalty flags. He was intended for Loya Valad. And it's 4th and long. McCallie will have to punt.
Keaton Whaley in there defensively. Also Jordan Darren Gia was the guy actually guarding Balad.
Last time up, Malachi Jacob ripped a long one for McCallie. Back the Red Raiders back up to the 10-yard line. Baylor comes after this punt. Little short. Takes another Baylor bounce. It's loose and McCallie falls on it. McCallie recovers at about the 20-yard line.
Did it hit the up man while he was blocking? Looks like it may have hit Cosmo DiMatteo in the leg, and then McCallie was fortunate enough to jump on it. Let's get another look at it here. Yep, you see it hit him in the leg, and McCallie was just Johnny on the spot to jump on it, get the football, and what a huge break early here for the Blue Tornado. Lamontagne, I think it was, who had the recovery. Number 8, the senior, 6'1", 240. Nice heads up on that special teams play.
So the first turnover of the game goes way of the Blue Tornado. McCallie with a 1st and 10 at the 20. It's Filion to the outside. Filion to the end zone.
Wow.
Xavier Filion.
What an incredible run. You saw the breakaway speed. It's a penalty on the field, but potential dead ball. We'll see what the referee is going to call here, but a huge celebration. Look at him. He just kicks it in 5th gear and blows by everybody. including Jaden Arenas Michelle, big 99.
So the touchdown stands, and McCallie takes the 6-0 lead after getting the turnover. The Blue Tornado cash it in. Xavier Filion with a 20-yard run. His longest of the season had been a 54-yard jaunt. That's his third rushing touchdown of the year.
And that's a great shot there. We're getting on television. Look at how many people are standing up in the end zone. The Railbirds are about 10 deep on both sides. This near end zone that you're seeing on the screen, but also the far end zone. I mean, it is. I think there's more people standing here than sitting.
Ben Brewer out to attempt the extra point. And the kick is good. 7-0 McCallie, 7:08 to go. First quarter action. McCallie leads Baylor. Back to Spears Stadium after this. Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial. Back in McCallie where it's a 7-0 lead for the Blue Tornado. On top of the Baylor Red Raiders, you get a look at the crowd that has filed in here again. This stadium seats about 4,000, but they're expecting at least double or more than double of that in here tonight.
I guarantee you, man, at least double that. It's so loud when McCallie scored that touchdown. Wow. The atmosphere is second to none. I mean, for a high school football game, it's got the college feel to it. Ben Brewer will kick this thing off. Aspire Dermatology kickoff.
End over end kick taken by one of the up men at around the 40-yard line.
Whoa, and he is running over people.
He gets out to the 50, and here comes the penalty flags.
Stopped by Cannon Voiles.
So the holding call will back the Red Raiders up. Ball to go back to the 41-yard line, and that's where Baylor will start on their own end of the field with a 1st and 10 at the 41. Baylor off to a 5-0 start, already 2-0. In the region, this offense averaging 45 a game. Cherry off play action. Drops it off short underneath. Colby Barrett made the catch, and he's snuffed out quickly by the McCallie defense.
Cooper Gentle all over it on that screenplay. Gentle, number 17, their senior leader. You mentioned how many tackles he's had on the season. He gets another one there. You see, with I think their first pass of the night, a little screen to Barrett. And there's Cooper Gentle cleaning up the mess.
Cooper Gentle, one of 4 brothers to play for McCallie in recent years. Short pass caught, first down into McCallie territory. And he finally gets slung out of bounds over on the far sideline. It was Caden Dewey.
Caden Dewey, dynamic wide receiver, 6 foot, 180 pounds. He's got offers from Appalachian State, Buffalo, Kennesaw State. You see him a little side-to-side shift, but Deshaun Tipton wasn't having any of it. Pushed him out of bounds.
Again, Cherry taking a shot downfield and broken up. Swatted away by Deshaun Tipton.
Yeah, Tipton's all over it. The senior, 5'11", 170, the Intended target was tight end Braxton Rain, who's a big guy, 6'6", 235. But Tipton, they call him Butter because he's so smooth, has 1 interception on the year and 18 tackles. That was well defended by Deshaun Tipton.
2nd and 10 now for Baylor from the McCallie 48. George wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage. This McCallie defense, they've been tremendous against the run all year. McCallie allowing opponents to rush for just 62 yards a game against them.
Gabe Abercrombie, a tone setter on defense, just wrapped up his leg. You'll see number 4 come flying in there. Hold on till my partners come out and help me. And he did just that, didn't let George get free.
3rd down from midfield for Baylor. Looks like Cherry's checking off at the line of scrimmage. Cherry, down he goes. Sacked once more. Gabe Abercrombie.
Abercrombie comes flying through the hole. Nobody touches him, unblocked. And Abercrombie with a huge sack on Briggs Cherry.
First sack of the year for Gabe Abercrombie, and it came at an opportune time for the Blue Tornado.
And Coach Joe Bradford said he's one of the guys that just recognizes things pre-snap. And he's able to kind of freelance out there. Now, that may have been a called blitz by Ralph Potter and those great defenses that he's had throughout his career. He's the defense coordinator now, but what a great effort by Abercrombie.
Sam Shutters gets away a nice spiraling kick. Taking a big roll. It'll get inside the 15-yard line to about the 12. And that's where McCallie will take over. Blue Tornado backed up deep at their own 12-yard line with 4:39 to go in the first quarter.
Shows you a little bit of the student section for McCallie. Again, crammed in here. Most people not having a seat.
Always just a fantastic atmosphere, Scott. Wherever you mentioned it last week, whether it's here, whether it's at Baylor, the atmosphere is just fantastic for this game.
It's unbelievable. It really is.
And McCallie goes back to the ground, and they bring it out to the 20-yard line. That's a gain of about 8, maybe 9 on first down Chris Lloyd.
Yep, Chris Lloyd finds the big hole in the middle of that offensive line, is able to gain some yardage. We see it replay here. And that is Keaton Whaley stepping up to make the tackle. Not until he gains about 8 yards, though.
2nd down short. Here comes Lloyd again. And Lloyd has the first down. He gets to the 25-yard line.
Stopped by Hans Emery Julian. 6'3", 230, but he catches that Blue Tornado first down.
One of the things that Joel Bradford told us this week, I asked him, I said, Coach, what do you guys do well? What's the strength of this team? He said, we're a physical football team. It's in our DNA.
It is.
And you're seeing that physicality, especially with those guys up front right now.
And I think Baylor's concern was, can they match that physicality? Because they know that McCallie's going to bring it.
Drapeau again on the keeper. We've seen a couple of called runs for him tonight. And he's finally slung down after he crosses the 30 up to about the 31-yard line. Colby Barrett, among others, on the stop for Baylor. Drapeau had rushed for about a 4-yard average. He had 149 yards coming into this game. And that may be one of the differences in his game from when we saw him a year ago, Scott, is his ability to maybe use his legs a little more this season.
Yeah, he's a really good runner. He's hard to bring down. As you mentioned, a pretty big guy.
6'5", about 210.
Strong and quick, and he can run it.
This is
Not
Louis
there,
Fortier. Louis Fortier is the backup quarterback for McCallie. He is the guy that Joel Bradford told us this week, Fortier, just a sophomore, they're really excited about what this guy can be at McCallie. And Joel Bradford kind of clued us in on this earlier in the week. He said, we've got a special package for him where we will bring him in. He's averaging about 6 yards a rush attempt.
And you see he is a big guy. He looks the part, almost looks like a tight end lining up in the backfield.
And Fortier will now come out.
Drapeau back in to lead this 3rd and short.
And we've got a timeout that's asked for by McCallie. Let's head downstairs to the field. Mackenzie Johnson standing by.
I got Mr. Burns here with me, Dean of McCallie. What is it like to experience the rivalry as a student, now as head of school?
You know, as a student, I love the week, love competing, and there's so much school spirit and pride, and our students get really excited over the course of the whole week. It's just great to see the pride that we all have in the McCallie community, and Baylor does as well. For a school that really helps change and transforms lives. And there's such great appreciation that I have as an alumnus and that thousands of other McCallie alums have as alums too for what's done for their lives.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you, what does the rivalry mean for McCallie, but also, you're right, for both schools? How big is this? From people who don't know Chattanooga, Baylor versus McCallie, what is it like?
Yeah, it's a huge rivalry. I think it's one of the biggest probably in the country. And there's so much pride. There's a long tradition at both schools. We've been playing football for 120 years. McCallie and Baylor have, and there's some playful jabs and so forth. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of respect the two schools have for one another.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Mr. Barnes.
Filion breaks in a foot race. Xavier Filion caught from behind and pulled down by Gia in a touchdown-saving tackle. McCallie back in business, deep in Baylor territory.
Lee Burns is going to want to be on TV all night. Now that was on cue with a huge run. Just a monster from Filion, and he gets it done. Filion, a guy who is just a workhorse, and you see why. They love handing the ball off to that guy. Explosive speed, and if it's not for Gia, that's a touchdown for the Blue Tornado. But Gia hustling back the junior to make the stop.
51 yards on that run. Lloyd back in, and here's Lloyd straight ahead, tripped up. Penalty flag comes out as Lloyd brought down by Keaton Whaley.
Flag in the area of a holding. There you go. It was the left side of that offensive line for McCallie. Chris Lloyd had some running room, but maybe that's because of the hold.
Still in the previous spot. Remain first down.
Well, that penalty will make it now 1st down and 20 as the ball moves back to about the 26-yard line. Drapeau on the keeper to the left side, gets to the 20. Kind of shoved out of bounds there by Keaton Whaley, and Gia also in the neighborhood. 7th play of this drive coming up for the Blue Tornadoes. You get a look at the help cooling replay.
He's just kind of using that vision to find out where he thinks the best hole will be. As you mentioned, Jordan Darren, Gia, also Keaton Whaley, stopping that from getting too much further.
The sophomore Louis Fortier is back in. His head coach, Joel Bradford, of course, was a wide receiver here at McCallie. His quarterback, a guy named B.J. Coleman, that went on and had a great college career at Chattanooga. And that was the guy that Coach Bradford compared Fortier to. He said he's got a little B.J. Coleman in him. Here's the pitch back to Filion, and he'll be ridden out of bounds here on the near side.
Now, if the big man, Louis Fortier, has some B.J. Coleman, I want to see B.J. Coleman arm, because that's the key here. He can run the football. He's a big guy, but can he throw it?
The real question is, how's his handshake?
Right, because B.J. Coleman would like crush your hand, crush the bones in your hand. He'd always shake your hand so hard.
Filion, who has the touchdown run and a long run of 51 tonight in the backfield. Fortier putting it up for the end zone. Makes the incomplete pass. Could not come up with the catch.
Well defended by Keaton Whaley.
Levi Scott, the intended target.
And that was Scott and Whaley one-on-one in the corner.
Well, I don't know about the gunslinger cannon, Scott, but he showed a little touch when Fortier put it
that
up.
wasn't bad. It was on the spot. And there you go. You get a look at Levi Scott, freshman. And Coach Bradford told us, everybody says you're too small to play this game, especially at this level in D2 AAA. And all he does is go out there and do some things. 11 catches for 269 yards, 3 TDs. That's about almost a 25 yards per catch so far this season, his 9th grade year.
37-yard field goal attempt is up, and it is no good from Ben Brewer.
Hits the left upright, and the Baylor side explodes with excitement that it's still a one-score game.
Under a minute left in this first quarter. McCallie with a 7-0 lead. They scored after a Baylor miscue on a punt. Filion with a 20-yard touchdown run. Now McCallie has missed an extra point, and Baylor set to take over with a 1st and 10 at the 20. Cherry has Theodore split wide to the top of your screen. David Gabriel George in the backfield. Play clock is at 1. Baylor's going to have to hurry. They had to take the timeout. They couldn't get the play off in time. That's the first time out of this half for Baylor. They stop it with 47 seconds remaining. Eric Kimmery, the head coach at Baylor, 38-6. As the head coach of the Red Raiders, an amazing 232 wins against only 26 losses for his career that started out over in South Carolina.
The Hammond School in South Carolina, and he just had a tremendous record there. And right before he was hired at Baylor, he was a positions coach with the South Carolina Gamecocks. So he played quarterback at South Carolina under Lou Holtz.
We did not get a good Lou Holtz story out of Coach this week
I know,
either.
man.
Right?
We should have, right? I feel
we normally get a good
lost on that.
We normally get a good Coach Holtz story out of Coach Kimmery every year.
I've heard he does a pretty mean impersonation too, but I've never seen it.
I think he does. Coming out of the timeout now, Baylor with a fresh play clock, ready to snap it here. Final few seconds of this first quarter. Ryan goes in motion. Here's the give. It goes to Gabriel George, trying to find some room, and does, to the 25, and a stiff arm out to the 30-yard line for David Gabriel George. That is your Mr. Football Award winner from last year, Deshaun Tipton. Able to get him out of bounds.
He's also the number 1 recruit in the state of Tennessee for the 2027 class, and he shows you why. Look, he's bottled up by gentle other defenders, and he just waits, picks up a block, and is able to take it for, 20 yards or so for that first down. Moves the ball out to about the 34-yard line, 33-yard line for a CHI Memorial first down.
Well, whatever that lower leg injury is, I think he's pretty healthy based on that run. Here he is. Stopped by the middle of that McCallie defensive front.
Jaden Hudgens Key with a big stop.
Second down and 10. Baylor does not have to snap it again in this first quarter if they don't want to. And Briggs Cherry looks to the sideline, now looks back the clock. They may just let it tick down, and they'll let this first quarter come to a close. We've played a quarter from Spears Stadium in McCallie. It's a 7-0 Blue Tornado lead. Red Raiders with the ball, faced with a second down when we return. Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals, presented by CHI Memorial.
sur mon lit à bouffer sa langue en buvant trop mon whisky. Quant à moi, peu dormi, vie débris, mais j'ai dû dormir dans la gouttière où j'ai eu un flash. En 4 couleurs. Allez hop, un matin, une louloute est venue chez moi, poupée de cellophane, cheveux chinois, un sparadrap, une gueule de bois, a bu ma bière dans un grand verre en caoutchouc. Allez hop, la nana, quelle panard, quelle vibration de s'envoyer sur paillasson, lit, mais ruiné, vidé, comblé. You are the king of the divan, qu'elle me dit en passant. I am the king of the divan.
Seven 0 McCallie on top of Baylor as we get the second quarter started. Look at our Dr. Pepper scoreboard and fans that have filed in tonight. The stand's full on both sides. They're lined up deep around the end zones. Every grassy spot here, I believe, has a body covering it. So either sitting or standing.
I also did.
Baylor faced with a second down and 10 as we open up the second quarter. Here goes Gabriel George, tries to break away and cannot. McCallie there to finish him off.
Ryan Muxlow, initial contact made by another defender, but Muxlow's the one that gets the stop of David Gabriel George. Roman Zarobski, the other one that had the initial contact, slowed him down a little bit. Able to hold him to 1 yard gain, so McCallie defense is really, really keying on David Gabriel George, and why not?
Third down and 9 for Baylor. Third possession of the game for the Red Raiders. On the rollout, Cherry has a receiver wide open, and he makes the catch. It was Jamian Theodore that slid down and made the catch for the first down at about the 44-yard line.
Theodore, I think he thought there was a defender closer to him than that. I guarantee he wished he had kept his feet, because if he catches that, turns, spins real quick, there's a lot of running room. As you see, really no defender over there. He just slides down on his own.
Scott, we can confirm as Baylor picks up the CHI Memorial first down. A lot of questions this week about will he be there or won't he? We can tell you that Peyton Manning is here. And he's watching Briggs Cherry air it out deep on an incomplete pass. Manning in the stands over on the Baylor side. He's sitting with Tennessee head baseball coach Tony Vitello.
Yeah, they're having a conversation and have been the entire game. There's Peyton from earlier in the day. His son Marshall Manning started at Baylor this past August as a 8th grader, so he's dressed out on the sideline wearing the infamous Manning number 16 that he wore for the Tennessee Vols. So Marshall will be in this rivalry in years to come. At least we hope so.
Cherry with the screen to Gabriel George, and George wrapped up immediately, a short gain, as again Gabe Abercrombie on the stop.
Man, they are all over George. Abercrombie with a nice play. Again, kind of a one-on-one type of tackle. Abercrombie really has developed a lot in his career here at McCallie. And you see him break through the block and just hang on.
Gabe Abercrombie, one of several playing in this game tonight with some college offers. Another third down for Baylor. Cherry. Intercepted.
I'm calling him out of bounds. Looks like his right foot may have been out of bounds on the initial touch, and that was
Ryan Muxlow, I believe.
Muxlow on the sideline.
Now that was Muxlow. He could not come down in bounds.
Yep, out of bounds. Good camera work by our crew. He tried to sell it, though.
Well, after a
just not an average pass from Cherry. That was kind of off target a little bit.
After a 6-play drive now, Baylor forced to kick it away. Tabato to return it for McCallie. High kick. Tabato backs away. It takes a Baylor bounce and will roll down to the 10-yard line. So that's where McCallie will take over. First down and 10. They start backed up at their own 10-yard line. Tonight after the game, stick around here on the CW Chattanooga. See what all's coming up. .9:35 to go. The only score, a touchdown run by Xavier Filion of McCallie. It came after Baylor muffed a punt. Empty set now for Drapeau. He's going to air it out, taking a shot deep. Oh. Making the catch in stride is Tabato. Touchdown, McCallie.
The big arm shows up. We talked about B.J. Coleman. He talked about B.J. Coleman arm. Louis Fortier just unleashes one to Tabato. Look at that. Just a cannon down the field. Tabato gets behind the defender. Fortier with the throw, and he gets a touchdown for the Blue Tornado. Got behind the defender and really showed off some strength and some speed. Keyshawn Tabato committed to Vanderbilt, 6'1", 180, and he can run.
The extra point attempt from Ben Brewer is up, and it is 14-0. 9:23 to go, second quarter. Blue Tornado with 2 quick touchdowns. The big play, the sophomore in Fortier hooking up with Tabato for 6.
Man, what a throw.
Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial continues. Tonight's halftime report sponsored by Big Woody's Tree Service. We'll have a recap of the first half of action here at McCallie, plus we catch up with the Tennessee Army National Guard. That's all coming up. Our Big Woody's Tree Service halftime report. McCallie with the big play offensively, 14-0. So, Scott, I go back to what Joel Bradford gave us as his keys. He wanted to eliminate the big play from Baylor, check. Win the turnover battle, check, and stay on schedule on offense. He checks all those boxes
so far,
in this first half.
So good for sure. This is the Aspire Dermatology kickoff once again, and you are correct, man. I mean, just limiting David Gabriel George in general, but no big splash plays for the Red Raiders, and frankly, 2 of them on the touchdown for the Blue Tornado.
Gabriel George, Caden Dewey back deep, and again, this kick planted into the end zone. Heck of a leg by Ben Brewer.
No question, man. That's 3 booming kickoffs.
Now you go back to the other side. Baylor wanted to stop the run and run the ball. They haven't been able to establish the run game tonight. Coach Kimmery talked about winning the turnover battle and winning the explosive play battle. So he's still looking for his first check mark of the night.
And we mentioned the game within the game earlier. Just Eric Kimmery and his play calling versus Ralph Potter, a seasoned defensive coordinator that can just throw some wrenches at you and just get you frustrated, which I think is what Baylor is right now.
George out across the 25-yard line.
Stop made by Ryan Muxlow. Cannon Boyle's in there as well.
George once again able to slip through a couple of arm tackles. And he's finally ridden down. A host of Blue Tornado tacklers there on the stop.
Malachi Jacob, certainly one of them. Little counter play where they kind of look like they're coming left and then counter back to the right, but it didn't fool anybody with McCallie. He got some yardage, but they're just all over. I mean, obviously, this is something they've talked about all week, is if we can contain, or at least keep David Gabriel George under the wraps a little bit. It's got to happen if you're going to win, if you're McCallie, and so far it has.
Cherry on the rollout has to throw it away. Now, Baylor talked about taking what the defense gives you, and I think they have yet to be able to find out what that gift is thus far.
Yeah, because McCallie's defense hasn't given them much at all. Run, throw, everything. They've just been on point all night.
Briggs Cherry off play action now, rolling downfield. He'll throw on the run. Theodore makes the catch shy of midfield.
Damian Theodore, Vols commitment now. He'll probably play defensive back in Knoxville or at the college level, but he certainly has great hands and the ability to make plays on the offensive side of the football like he did on that one.
Briggs Cherry shows off a little bit of that arm and the accuracy there. He went to the Elite 11 quarterback competition in Los Angeles over the summer. He is only the second quarterback from our area ever to get that opportunity. George breaks it.
Now you're going to see the speed.
Touchdown Baylor. Woo! David Gabriel George.
City touchdown. And talking about this guy, if he gets a half a step on you, he is out the gate, man. The explosive player. You see why he's the #1 player in the class of 2027 in the state of Tennessee. He just runs by those defenders all the way to the house. What a fantastic run by David Gabriel George. You mentioned earlier too, Eric Kimry said he's the best player I've ever coached, bar none. And he's been coaching a long time with some really good players.
Yeah, you're talking about a guy with 232 wins to his credit.
George, 6 feet tall, 205 pounds. He looks like a college running back already. He's SEC ready, and he's probably 16 years old.
You won the Mr. Football Award last year for the best player in his classification in the state of Tennessee. Well, this becomes now a 25-yard extra point attempt for Sam Shutters. And Shutters will drive it home, and Baylor is on the board. McCallie 16-7 lead. Breaking the action. We'll step aside. Second quarter, McCallie to get the ball when we return. Highlighting the school bus stop of the game. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. We'll get to our school bus stop of the game coming up in the fourth quarter.
We've had some good shots, too, this year so far with the school bus stop.
JP 8-2 to kick it off for Baylor. McCallie with Scott and Tabito back deep. And this is the first time we've seen one return. Out to the 20, look out. To the 25, one man to beat. Caught from behind and dropped. It was Jack Ferguson that saved the touchdown, or Levi Scott, the freshman, could have taken it to the house.
Levi Scott can absolutely motor. We mentioned him, quick, fierce competitor, Coach Bradford says, and man, does that switches the ball to the outside hand. Smart player for a 9th grader. He's got speed to burn too.
All right, Scott, this is what Baylor McCallie feels like now.
Yeah,
this is where it's been the big plays back and forth. McCallie with a 90-yard touchdown. Baylor with a 51-yard return. That was a 51-yard run for a score. That was a 51-yard kick return. And now McCallie begins this drive in plus territory at the 42-yard line. And the Blue Tornado go on the ground, and it's Filion who has the touchdown run from earlier. He'll get the first down run down to the 30-yard line and a gain of 12.
Jamie and Theodore pushes him out of bounds, but man, Baylor had him hemmed up in the backfield. They just could not bring him to the ground. Filion used a nice little bounce to the right side and saw a hole around the right edge, and he was gone for another first down. Well run by Xavier Filion, but great vision too.
330 yards rushing entering this game, and he's had a nice first quarter. He stays in the backfield. Here's the reverse. This is Scott around the near side. Penalty flag thrown as Scott gets slung out of bounds shy of the 20-yard line.
Slung out of bounds by Jordan Darren Gia. As you mentioned, penalty may bring this thing back. But you're exactly right. That sequence of big plays that we just saw, that's Baylor McCallie right there.
Yeah.
Well said, Chris. I mean, it's just, and that's why they talk about limiting explosive plays, because it seems like there's always at least.
On the offense, number 8, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, remains down.
Lamontang with the hold, the tight end.
Fortier back in at quarterback. Last time he was in, he threw it 90 yards for a touchdown. Scott tries to make a move, works his way shy of the 30 to about the 31-yard line. It was Gia there defensively. Fortier, the sophomore, a 62% passer. 284 yards coming into tonight. That long touchdown throw to Tabato was his 4th scoring toss of the season against 2 interceptions. An empty set now for Fortier. And the big man will run it. That's a load headed downhill inside the 30.
Keeper by 48.
Sets up a 3rd down now for the McCallie offense.
He is a load, especially for a sophomore.
Stay in that empty set on a 3rd down. Receivers draped one to a side. Fortier again looks for a hole, in trouble. And the Baylor defense comes up with the 3rd down stop. Colby Barrett among a host of Red Raiders.
Possibly a sophomore mistake there, because if you're going to try and run that for a first down, you cannot tiptoe around and try and fake somebody out, especially as big as Fortier is. Just run like a bull straight into him and see if anybody's got the guts to stand in your way. So he'll learn from that and get better, but that certainly was not going to get much. Again, got a yard, and you're kind of in that no man's territory, whether you want to try to go for it here or try to kick a field goal. Even if you get him to jump, it's not going to be enough for a first down. So McCallie set to go for it.
10 of 13 this season on 4th down. Fortier has some time.
Pressure.
Dropped.
Big sack by Hans Emery Julian. 6'3", 230 defensive end, junior out of Montreal. He is pumped, and I would be too. Got straight to the quarterback right in his face. And Fortier had no answer for that defensive presence.
He had some room early in the pocket, and then it closed quickly. McCallie turns it over on downs. So Baylor will begin this drive at their own 37-yard line. They take over. Just over 5 minutes remaining in the half. Cherry with a quick throw to Theodore. He's out of bounds over on the far side. After a positive gain, it's enough for the first down. Bring it out to the 47-yard line. Gain of 10 and a first down. We talked about the size of this Baylor offensive line, 6'5", 305 for an average. They'll run behind it. Gabriel George, here he goes again. Touchdown Baylor.
Man.
And they're an extra point away from tying it up.
Holy David Gabriel George possesses is just wicked. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that in high school football. That is just ridiculous. He, as I said earlier, if he's even with you, he's leaving. I mean, that's the old cliche, but it is so true with David Gabriel George. Bottle him up. You can bottle him up 18 times, but he touches it 20. Chances are he scores 2 touchdowns in that. For the Food City touchdown. Man, blazing speed, the quickness, the stop and start. He's just got it all.
After McCallie raced out to a 14-0 lead, Baylor's got 2 touchdowns in less than 3 minutes.
Wow. That's what can happen. And that's why a lot of people, not just me sitting here talking, a lot of people think that he will be the #1 running back in America for 2027 class as it all comes down. And you see these kind of highlights, there is really no argument against that. If I'd like to see who our competition is for him to see who the #1 running back in America is going to be in 2027.
These live and local games made possible by many of our generous sponsors. Let's take a minute and say thanks to Dr. Pepper, Scott's Furniture, Big Woody's Tree Service, CHI Memorial, Food City, Hep Cooling, and the Tennessee Army National Guard. David Gabriel George, a 53-yard touchdown run, 4:51 remaining in the half. In just less than 3 minutes, they've scored twice and have tied the game.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you've never seen a Baylor McCallie game and are enjoying this for maybe the first time, or you've only seen a couple of them, it's just getting started. Hold on.
Yeah.
This is just getting started.
Another Aspire Dermatology kickoff. JPA2 will kick it. Tabito, Scott back deep for McCallie. Scott with a big return last time as the penalty flag comes out, but Levi Scott took it back 51 yards on his last return. It's offsides against Baylor.
It is offsides against Baylor. There'll be a 5-yard penalty.
So they'll have to kick it again. McCallie at 5-1 on the season. I mentioned that one loss happened in Nashville against Ensworth. They bounced back the next week here at home when they defeated Mission Viejo, California, a team that at that time was ranked number 6th in the nation by Max Preps.
And just kind of out-physicaled them, too. I mean, I think they, from the highlights that I saw and video that I saw, Mission Viejo, they weren't used to that kind of physicality that McCallie brought to the game.
This season, McCallie facing teams from Georgia, California, and Mississippi. They beat Heidelberg, Mississippi last week, 21-14. Here's A2. And he will lay the leather into this one and put it deep for the touchback. David Gabriel George, by the way, Baylor 11 carries, 132 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
And I'm going to say of those 11 carries, they've bottled him up 6 or 7 of them.
Maybe 9.
And played well.
Yeah.
I mean, really played well defensively against him. But, man, when he breaks one, whew.
Well, Scott, let's put it like this. He's got 104 yards on 2 touchdown runs.
Well, there you go. So then that means he's got, 9 carries for 28 yards or 26 yards, whatever it was for the rest of the time. But that doesn't matter. You got to stop him every time he touches it.
Elliot Drapeau back in at quarterback. And McCallie goes on the ground. It's Filion. He finds some room on the near sideline out to the 30.
Pushed out of bounds by Jordan Darren Gia.
Xavier Filion, his head coach says he runs angry. We've seen some
I
of
like
that,
that,
yeah.
Runs angry. Love that description. Picks up about 8, so we got 2nd and 2.
Filion again, this time wrapped up as he approaches the line of scrimmage.
Cosmo DiMatteo with a nice one-on-one. Gets into the backfield, gets the ball carrier on the ground immediately. DiMatteo, also a sophomore, playing in a big spot at that outside linebacker position.
That was one of the concerns Eric Kimmery had about this game. He said, I got so many young guys going on defense. It's what worries me. Here's Filion again to the outside to the 30-yard line and no more. Hans Emery Julian, who's playing a fine game at that defensive end position for Baylor, comes up with the stop.
He, along with Jordan Darren Gia again, both those guys made nice play on the ball carrier.
It is enough for the first down, and that'll keep the drive alive here from McCallie with just over 4 minutes to go. We mentioned the McCallie schedule. For Baylor, Red Raiders are off to a 5-0 start, coming off a 45-18 win last week on the road against Montgomery Bell Academy. Their game against Brentwood Academy ended up being canceled as Drapeau with a run to the right side. There was a weather delay, and they never finished the game. It ended up just being canceled. I know there's a lot of question marks about what the impact is that going to be on the standings as we move through this season, and in particular what it means for playoff seedings for Baylor.
From what I understand, Coach Josh Heupel, Tennessee's head football coach, and Peyton Manning were both in attendance, and they never got to see one snap. Lightning just kept on coming and shut it down.
Drapeau with a quick throw here to the near side. It's Levi Scott, and the freshman tries to juke and weave across the 35. Once again, DiMatteo on the stop. He'll have some help from Gia and others.
Maxim Suganiako, also a linebacker. I had to try it, man.
Yeah. Well, he is fluent in 4 languages.
It's ridiculous. These guys are from Canada, man. They are just super intelligent, and most of them know a number of languages.
Filion hit up high and dropped immediately. That was Corey Faulkner, the junior linebacker that shot through the gap.
Coach described him as explosive and fast. Well, neck and check on that one play. 6 foot, 210 pounds of exploding tackles. And that was quick to the ball carrier by Faulkner.
It's another 4th down for McCallie. No sign of the punt team coming out. Play clock under 20 as McCallie will come to the line. Drapeau has Filion in the backfield. Play clock is down to 3, down to 2. McCallie will take a timeout. And for McCallie, that is their final timeout of the half. It comes with 1:52 remaining. Took the play clock all the way down. Baylor never bunched, never moved up front, and so McCallie has to burn the timeout. Here's a look at Elliot Drapeau.
6'5", 210, big guy.
Really pleased with his hard work and his improvement since last year.
A little bit over a 61% completion percentage. Comes in with 9 touchdowns and 6 interceptions into this game.
McCallie has played 2 quarterbacks tonight. We've seen Drapol, we've seen Louis Fortier. Fortier with a 90-yard touchdown pass to his credit. Xavier Filion with the other McCallie score. Both of Baylor's touchdown runs have come courtesy of David Gabriel George. A 51-yarder and a 53-yarder. McCallie will punt. Theodore to return it for Baylor. Baylor moved up front. They get back in time. Malachi Jacob. A little bit of a shorter punt this time, and McCallie will wait on it to stop rolling at the 30-yard line. So Baylor has it with 1:42 remaining in the half. The last 2 possessions for Baylor have both ended in touchdowns. One was a 4-play drive, the other a 2-play scoring drive. So Scott, I think you're looking at a team that, an offense that can get it done quickly, and they're 65 yards away. I don't think this is out of the question with a 1:42 to go in the half.
No, I'd hand it to Zero about 3 times and see what he can do.
That may be the game plan here. Theodore at the top of your screen, split out wide. Here's the give to George. Tries to make the turn. Nice job by the McCallie defense. They string him out, and they cut him down. Miles Williams on the stop.
And Miles Williams is a nice tackle on George. We've seen how dangerous he can be. A lot of pursuit. But then Williams just steps up and squares up with him.
Gain of 1. It's 2nd and 9. Cherry on the rollout. Will drop it off to Theodore. First down yardage out of bounds at about the 50.
See, Caden Dewey, number 2, usually gets a lot of the attention, but they've come a lot into Jamie and Theodore all game long. We talked about those 2 catches he had where if he'd have just kept his feet, there really wasn't much defense around him, but he kind of slid and made the catch. I think he's been on his feet more here recently, so I'm sure somebody pointed that out to him. It is a CHI Memorial first down for the Baylor Red Raiders.
Theodore wisely getting out of bounds, stops the clock. Cherry with a deep drop. Takes a shot, going deep, and it's incomplete. He was aiming for Caden Dewey.
Yep, Dewey, 6 foot, 180 pounds. Dewey comes in with 25 catches for 555 yards and 6 TDs. He showed off his dynamic, great speed. Comes into the game a hair over 22 yards per catch for number 2, the senior Caden Dewey.
.61 seconds to go in the half. Baylor faced with a 2nd down and 10, just shy of midfield. McCallie shows blitz. Here they come. Cherry on the rollout, being pressured, has to throw, making the diving catch inside the 30.
Wow. Looks
Pass
like
was
Dewey.
pulled in by Dewey.
Caden Dewey right on the sideline. I mean, that was a thing of beauty. Briggs Cherry with a rocket down there at Dewey, right on the sideline. Threw it to where none of the defenders could get to it. And Dewey makes the reception, picks up the first down.
Baylor back in business now at the McCallie 30-yard line with 53 seconds remaining. Red Raiders look to tack on a score late. Cherry throwing, making the adjustment, but unable to come up with the catch.
Defended by Ryan Muxlow. Defended well, too. A little contact, but not enough to draw a flag from the official.
Still plenty of time for this Baylor offense. They started at their own 35. Baylor with 2 timeouts remaining. 6th play of this drive coming up. Cherry pressured. Escapes. Finds a man. Heck of a catch going up high to get it is Theodore.
Play broke down, and Briggs Cherry just made something happened to Jamie and Theodore. Down the left sideline, picks up the first down.
And a good job by McCallie here in the hurry up to get everybody to the line and snap it. Cherry, again, pressured, he'll run. Cherry throws late, caught and out of bounds. Again, it's Dewey.
Dewey out of bounds, stops the clock with 20 seconds to play. As you pointed out, Chris, Baylor with 2 timeouts. They've got plenty of time. Try and put this thing in the end zone or at least get some points on the board, take the lead before half.
How about Briggs Cherry on this drive, Scott? He has 4 out of 5 passing. Give his receivers some credit now as Baylor's inside the Dr. Pepper maroon zone, but his guys have helped him out with some good catches.
They sure have, but his accuracy is through the roof. Louisville will be happy to have him on campus next year for sure.
David Gabriel George is on his left hip. Stays in to block as Cherry. Back to throw for the end zone. He'll just have to throw it away. Nothing was there. Clock stops, 14 seconds left, and we've got a flag.
Looks like the hold was on Charlie Edgeworth. He's another Louisville commitment. So Edgeworth and Cherry will be going to play for the Cardinals.
15 seconds left. Baylor with a first down and goal. Cherry looking to the sideline for the play. He's still got time, and they'll ask for the timeout. Play clock was at 14. He did have some time there, but Baylor will call for the timeout to stop the clock. Red Raiders have 1 timeout remaining. Let's take a moment and say thank you to some of our sponsors like Dr. Pepper, Aspire Dermatology, Chattanooga Allergy Clinic, Casey Custom Docks, Josh Houston and Associates, and TVFCU. Chris Goforth, Scott McMahon, Mackenzie Johnson with you from McCallie's Spears Stadium. Blue Tornado raced out to a 14-0 lead. McCallie then saw Baylor come back with 2 big plays, a 51-yard run by David Gabriel George, and then a 53-yard run by George. That all happened within a span of about 3 minutes.
There you see on the right side of your screen, Gabriel Osenda, 6'8", 320 pounds, committed to Josh Heupel and the Tennessee Vols.
He's not hiding from anybody, is he?
No. Not only 6'8", 320, but he's got a 7-foot wingspan, which we know they love those long arms when it comes to NFL prospects. He's still just a high schooler, but he's got every gift from God you could possibly want.
First down and goal, Baylor, 14 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Gabriel George breaks a tackle, breaks 2, breaks 3, down to the 5-yard line.
The stiff arm.
Goodness gracious.
Oh my gosh, that guy. Talk about running angry. I know we talked about another guy that was doing that, but that is running angry. Stiff arm was just amazing. I mean, he is unbelievable, uncanny at being able to just bounce off contact.
3 seconds, yeah.
He looks like he's dead to rights, and then here, right there, Derrick Henry's the guy to the ground.
That was Gabe Abercrombie with a touchdown-saving tackle for McCallie. As Baylor burns their final timeout in this first half. Red Raiders have 3 seconds left. Sam Shutters is their kicker. His dad, Patrick, played at South Carolina with Eric Kimmery. And this will be Sam Shutters out to give Baylor the lead.
Dad transferred from South Carolina, played for the Chattanooga Mocs, and That's how they get established here in Chattanooga, yeah.
Shutters from the left hash. This will be a 27-yard field goal attempt to put Baylor in the lead at halftime. Shutters puts it up and through. The 27-yard field goal expires, and Baylor takes the 17-14 lead.
Again, we're just getting warmed up, ladies and gentlemen.
It was an 8-play drive for Baylor as they took it right downfield. Briggs Cherry, check that, it was actually a 10-play drive they were able to execute with just over a minute remaining to get downfield and kick the field goal. And Baylor takes the 17-14 lead here at the break. Last 3 possessions for Baylor, they've put up 17 points. David Gabriel George, 2 touchdown runs in this first half. Shutters with a 27-yard field goal for McCallie. Filion with a 20-yard run, and then Tabato pulled in the 90-yard pass from Louis Fortier. Let's send it down to the field. Mackenzie Johnson standing by with the head coach of the Red Raiders in Eric Kimmerer.
Coach, you had a slow start to the game, but now you are tied back up. What adjustments were made for you to get that?
Nothing really. We just got to keep being ourselves. We just had to settle into the game a little bit. And, our O-line started to block the way they could block. And Briggs did a nice job of managing the game. And, give the ball to zero, see what happens.
It's never easy when you're the away team, but especially tonight with the crowd and being at McCallie. What are you telling your boys in halftime to keep them going?
Hey, just keep being yourself. We get the ball first. It's going to be a heck of a game, and it's always back and forth. And be composed and get ready to try to win this thing in the fourth quarter.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Coach.
Mackenzie Johnson with the head coach of the Red Raiders. 17-14, Baylor in the lead. Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial. We'll come back with our Big Woody's Tree Service halftime report. That's next. Welcome to our Big Woody's Tree Service halftime report. We're excited once again this season to have Dr. Pepper with us as our title sponsor. Dr. Pepper committed to giving each home school $500 this season for letting us come out and broadcast these games. Let's send it down to the field. Mackenzie Johnson, she's standing by with Clayton McMasters.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you again, Clayton, for coming back to see me. What is the specific mission for Dr. Pepper here at our local high schools?
Yes, we partner with all the local area high schools. Right now we're showcasing Baylor McCallie, but week in and week out we contribute to each school, and hopefully that money's put to good use, but we love partnering with our local communities.
And what does it mean to be able to be here tonight and come out and see the high school that you're supporting?
Well, I mean, to put Chattanooga on the map like this, these two schools, they've been duking it out, quite a game. It's special.
And I know I've asked you before, but maybe your answer has changed. What is your Dr. Pepper flavor of choice?
Well, right now I took my own advice and I got myself a drink, but red and blue makes purple, and that new blackberry is quite tasty. I would try that.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Mackenzie Johnson down on the field with Clayton McMasters. Appreciate Clayton giving us some time each and every week. Earlier this week, I had the chance to visit with our friends at the Tennessee Army National Guard. Let's take a look. Friday Night Rivals visiting once again this week with our friends at the Tennessee Army National Guard. I'm joined by Sergeant First Class Davidson this week. And Sergeant, I feel like we kind of know the educational benefits that the Tennessee Army National Guard offers, especially for folks thinking about college, but for those thinking about trade schools as well, Tennessee Army National Guard offers some amazing opportunities.
We do, and so everyone doesn't have that opportunity to go to a university, right? So people want to go to Chat State. So listen, we able to cover your books, when it comes to you going to Chat State. We use the veteran VA tuition to help you with that. Above like $481, man. You can't beat that with that going into your pockets. If you need help with the tuition, we're able to assist you with that as well. So good luck at Chat State if you're looking to go that route too as well.
Sergeant, appreciate the time. Great to be with you, and
Thank
appreciate your service.
Thank you, sir.
It's always great to catch up with the Tennessee Army National Guard. It's time for a break. Don't you go too far. Our Chattanooga Allergy Clinic Scholar Athletes of the Week. That's coming up next. All that and more here on the Big Woody's Tree Service Halftime Report. Baylor on top of McCallie 14-7 at the half. Dr. Pepper, Friday Night Rivals, presented by CHI Memorial.
It's time now for our Scholar Athletes of the Week, sponsored by Chattanooga Allergy Clinic. This week's honorees are Emma Mulvaney and Elliot Drapeau. From the Baylor School, Emma Mulvaney. Emma plays volleyball for the Red Raiders. She's a two-time All-Region player and was named All-State last year. This year, she's on the AVCA All-American watch list. She also serves as the varsity volleyball team captain. In the classroom, Emma carries a 3.94 GPA. Upon graduation, she will have completed 3 honors classes and 9 AP courses. She's an AP scholar with honor. Outside the classroom, Emma volunteers as middle school volleyball student coach. She is also a counselor at summer volleyball camps and completed a mission trip to the Dominican Republic. From the McCallie School, Elliot Drapeau. Elliot competes in football and track for the Blue Tornado. He quarterbacked McCallie to the 2024 D2 AAA State Championship. And back on September 19th, he rushed for 59 yards and led McCallie to a 25-14 victory over 6th-ranked Mission Viejo. In the classroom, Elliot maintains a 4.09 GPA. He's been named to the head of school's academic list twice, the school's honor roll twice, and the faculty recognition list. Outside the classroom, Elliot has served as a volunteer coach for youth football, and he's played youth hockey. Congratulations to both Emma Mulvaney and Elliot Drapeau. Students may be eligible for a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. The Scholar Athlete of the Week is sponsored by Chattanooga Allergy Clinic.
It's a 17-14 Baylor lead here on our Big Woody's Tree Service halftime report. Let's get a look at how we got to this point. Baylor muffed a punt in the first quarter. McCallie took over at the Red Raider 20-yard line with 7:08 to go, and it only took one play. Xavier Filion with a foot race into the end zone, his 3rd rushing touchdown of the year, and McCallie jumps out to the 7-0 lead. McCallie would build on that lead. It would be Louis Fortier, the sophomore quarterback, and look at this arm. Gunning it deep for Keyshawn Tabateau. The Vandy commitment makes the catch and strolls in. 9:23 to go in the second quarter. It is 14-0 McCallie. Next possession, though, Baylor gets the offense rolling, and they do it with the Mr. Football Award winner from a season ago, David Gabriel George. 51 yards on the run, 7:43 remaining in the first half, and it's 14-7. George not done yet. After McCallie would turn it over on downs, he goes back to work again, this time from 53 yards, 4:51 to go in the second quarter, and we've got a 14-all tie. Second rushing touchdown of the first half for David Gabriel George. And then Sam Shutters would come on with a 27-yard field goal as time expires in the first half to put Baylor in front, 14-7. And by the way, Baylor will get the football to start the third quarter. We get a look at some first half stats. You see the numbers. Baylor 136 yards rushing in the first half. McCallie at 114. You see the passing numbers and the total offense. Baylor with the 1 turnover. Overall, Quake, those numbers fairly even for both sides. This game, it feels like it always comes down to turnovers and big plays. that's been the case so far.
And you mentioned big play. I mean, look at the passing from McCallie. That touchdown was 90 yards, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, and they've only been, other than that, they're 2 of 7 for 5 yards.
All
I
right,
mean, that's probably the one that jumps out at you. They don't hit that big play. I'm not sure where they are in the passing game.
What did we talk about David Gabriel George with 104 yards on 2 carries?
Yeah, pretty much.
And they've rushed for 136.
Kind of the same thing, yep. Kind of the same thing. Big plays, explosive plays. Both coaches knew that this game would have them, and so did we coming in, because that's what these teams do, is explosive plays.
We got another big one coming up next week, by the way.
Uh-huh.
So another good night of action. It's Thursday night rivals.
Exactly.
This coming week. Quick turnaround for us. Boyd Buchanan will host Silverdale, and we'll have the action here on the CW Chattanooga starting at 7. You can also stream the game, ChattanoogaCW.com, and over on the News Channel 9 Facebook page. That's happening Thursday night at 7 o'clock. From Boyd Buchanan. That's another good one, Scott. We've had this game years past. They've always been good games, and looking forward to Silverdale with that big win against South Pittsburgh. Kind of woke everybody up to that program back in the first week of the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, great matchup in Division II AA, so just a step below these two. But Boyd Buchanan, we know with Gary Rankin, have done some great things. They still don't have that elusive state championship under Rankin that they're looking for this year. And Silverdale has got offensive talent all across the field. So what a tremendous matchup. Excited about that one on a Thursday next week.
Headed into a big weekend of college football and the National Football League as well. The triple header on News Channel 9 tomorrow starting at noon with Kentucky and Georgia, Vandy and Bama.
Vandy.
Alabama looking for a little bit of revenge maybe after last year in Nashville. And then it should be a good one between Miami and Florida State tomorrow night, 7:30. You see games happening on Fox Chattanooga and here on the CW. Little ACC action. Wake Forest and Virginia Virginia Tech get underway tomorrow at 1 o'clock. On Sunday, we move into Week 5 in the National Football League and a doubleheader on Fox Chattanooga, the Cowboys and the Jets at 1. Washington and the Chargers in the second game. And then Monday Night Football on News Channel 9, 8 o'clock, Kansas City and Jacksonville on Monday night. After the game, make sure you stay tuned. We've got 2 hours of Law & Order Toronto. That's following our action here at McCallie tonight. That does it for our Big Woody's Tree Service halftime report. We'll be back with the second half of action after the break. But first, let's get a look at some action from across the country. You're watching Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial.
The best Thursday night lights and Friday night rivals highlights from across the country.
And he just, are you kidding? What just happened? Flipped out of his hands, and it's a touchdown for Jaden Pierce. Oh my goodness.
Here's Knuckles. He's going to take his shot for the end zone. Running under it, making the catch. What a catch by Cade Mitchell.
Holy cow for the Food City touchdown.
Well, stop of the game, Jeremiah Cruz. He had a few of those tonight. Jeremiah laying the wood.
250 yards passing. Now he wants to take a shot. Looking to hang this one up for Gardner, and he drops it to him, and Gardner makes a move at the 35. Gardner's still on his feet. Gardner's got 3 touchdowns tonight. Seeger's got 5.
Baylor with a 17-14 lead over McCallie as we're set to get this second half underway. Chris Goforth, Scott McMahon, Mackenzie Johnson. Mackenzie's down on the field. She'll be visiting with McCallie head coach Bradford coming up here in a few minutes. Now, Scott, we have talked about how Baylor played offense, especially in the second half of that second quarter. 17 unanswered points to take the lead. And they get the football now to start the third quarter. If you're McCallie, you need another big play on defense to kind of get momentum back in your favor.
Yeah, get a stop here because, like you said, 17 unanswered so far and getting the ball back. But if you could have a defensive stand like you did early in the game, that'd be a great thing if you're McCallie.
Let's send it down to the field. Mackenzie Johnson standing by with McCallie head coach Joel Bradford.
Coach, you had a fast start for the game. A little burnout at the end. What adjustments are we going to see the second half?
I think we got to keep attacking them. We got to establish more of the run game. We can't get behind the chains a little bit and stay on schedule offensively. Defensively, we're doing well. We just got to limit the big play. I mean, he's a special player. We just got to contain him a little bit more.
You talked a little bit about Zero, and he does have all of Baylor's touchdowns. What adjustments are we going to see on him this second half?
Well, we just got to gain tackle. We got to win up front.
Also, you are the home team. You got the home field advantage, but it's a lot of noise, a lot of crowd right now. What did you tell your boys in the locker room to keep them focused?
Well, we're only down by 3, and we didn't play a very good half at times, and we get stronger as the game goes on, so I rely on that, and I think they do too.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Coach. Back to you, Chris.
As Mackenzie Johnson with the head coach of the McCallie Blue Tornado. By the way, Peyton Manning and Scott McMahon are not the only 2 Hall of Famers in the house tonight. Congratulations to Joel Bradford, who was inducted into the UTC Hall of Fame last
deserved.
week. Yeah, what
he
a
was
player.
One heck of a wide receiver for the Mocs.
Still holds the school record for receiving yards in a game at 274 yards a game.
Not bad.
And the single season receiving yardage record as well at 1,284. He did both of those back in 2010.
And that was the McCallie hookup that eventually moved together to Chattanooga as far as B.J. Coleman goes.
Yep.
Was his high school quarterback, and then, of course, was his college quarterback. B.J. made a stop one year in 2009 under Lane Kiffin up in Knoxville and decided he wanted to come back and play for Russ Huseman, who was a teammate of his father's. So B.J. comes back home to team up with Joel Bradford, and they were quite the dynamic duo.
Joel, part of a team along with B.J. Coleman that played for a state championship and lost to Brentwood Academy at McCallie in what was Carlton Flatt, who at that time was the winningest head coach in Tennessee high school football history at Brentwood Academy. And Carlton Flatt, shortly after that game was over, announced his retirement, and it would be Ralph Potter that would leave McCallie and go to Brentwood Academy and take over for Coach Flatt, and then eventually Ralph Potter came back home to McCallie to take over the Blue Tornado program, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Yes, sir. You knew he couldn't stay away long. His love for McCallie goes back his playing days, and of course his father's Pete Potter, who they've got the field named after. So Ralph Potter, who's now the defensive coordinator, kind of stepped back from head coaching duties and now the defensive coordinator for the Blue Tornado. His McCallie blood runs deep.
Hey, we didn't get to talk to Coach this week, and I miss the Socrates quotes that we would get when we would visit with Coach Potter.
I'm not smart enough to follow with him.
Take a lot of notes, man.
Yeah.
Take a lot of notes.
Exactly.
Our Aspire Dermatology kickoff to get the third quarter underway. David Gabriel George, he with 2 rushing touchdowns tonight, is back deep along with Caden Dewey for Baylor, as the Red Raiders get it with a 17-14 advantage. Ben Brewer, who has shown off the leg tonight for McCallie, will get a chance to plant another one into the end zone. Return game hasn't been much of a factor. We mentioned Baylor muffing a punt that set up the first McCallie score, and then we did have Levi Scott with a big return across midfield for McCallie, but eventually the Blue Tornado would turn it over on downs on that drive. And once again, what a kick by Ben Brewer.
Just a booming leg. And, on the other side with A2, he's got an impressive leg, too, kicking off for the Baylor Red Raiders.
So Baylor takes over again. They have scored 17 unanswered to take the lead. This is a Baylor team that has sent 14 players on to play college football in the last 2 years. Been a tremendous run of success for both of these programs. Gabriel George in the backfield. And he gets the call on first down. And he sprints out across the 25-yard line to about the 27 or the 28. Cooper Gentle made the stop for McCallie.
A little help from Ryan Muxlow, the strong safety, who stepped up to make the stop along with Gentle.
Joel Bradford told us Cooper Gentle, he said he's the most physical of the 4 Gentle brothers, and that says a lot because 2 of his brothers were absolute monsters on the offensive line at McCallie. Here's Cherry throwing in stride for Theodore, and he's gone. Touchdown, Baylor. 72 yards.
Once again, a huge explosive play for that Food City touchdown. Damian Theodore, Tennessee commitment, but mostly as defensive back, shows his speed there. Play action keeps everybody honest, and then all of a sudden Theodore pops through a hole. My goodness, that is absolutely drawn up to perfection and executed even better. Jemiah Theodore with a big touchdown.
40 seconds into the third quarter, and Baylor strikes again. Shutters on to attempt the extra point. Shutter's extra point is good, and Baylor has put up 20 unanswered. 24-17, Red Raiders in the lead.
There you see Jemiah Theodore and just how explosive he can be. So many explosive players on the field. That's why this game is so special every single year, but that was a thing of beauty. Like I said, Eric Kimmery, who is the head coach, he also is the offensive play caller for the Red Raiders, and kind of knew that they'd be keying on number 0. Used that with the play fake and found Theodore just springing through the middle of the defense. You're getting another look at it. But where's the defense? Oh, they're looking at number 0, Jamie and Theodore. Easy pitch and catch for him.
The Aspire Dermatology kickoff, as McCallie has Tabito and Scott back deep. Scott was the one that returned it back across midfield. JPA2. He'll hang it up high and into the end zone. Put it in deep. And so McCallie will start this drive at their own 20-yard line. Again, Blue Tornado, they got to find a way to stop the bleeding here. 24 consecutive points scored unanswered by the Baylor offense.
And I think if you're McCallie, you'd love to see a 8, 9, 10 play drive, get some points obviously, but just to establish an offensive presence and keep those explosive offensive guys for Baylor off the field.
The screen, Baylor reads it well, able to slip free from, well, he can't slip free from anybody. Baylor had it read nicely. It was the safety in Colby Barrett that was the first one there.
Barrett grabbed him and then held his jersey until he could get some defensive help.
Was the freshman in Levi Scott that made the catch. Give him a yard. Brings up 2nd and 9. You get a look at it on the replay.
Colby Barrett, nice play there, committed to Mississippi State, as we told you earlier, 6'2", 205. He's the number 37th, according to 24/7, 37th best player in the state of Tennessee as far as college prospects go.
Filion bounces outside. Baylor is there. It was Corey Faulkner. This is a defense across the front for Baylor. They'll base out of 3-4 look, but they can give you a couple of different looks. And you'll see that all of those offensive linemen will rotate in, including big Gabriel Osenda, who's 330 pounds at nose. Drapeau lofts it downfield, making a sliding catch. Valad made the catch. Loya Valad. What a grab.
Incredible, because it was defended very well. Valad, the junior, comes up with hits him right in the numbers, first of all. So let's give Drapeau a little credit. Get another look at it. Oh, it was tipped by the defense, too, and he's able to come up with a tip ball pass for a huge gain for McCallie.
38 yards on the throw and catch. Drapeau again. He'll step up now. He'll run, find some room in the middle. Breaks away from 2. And finally down at the 25, 24-yard line goes Elliot Drapeau. Keaton Whaley made the stop.
Looks like it might be Jamie and Theodore with some cramps. They're stretching his leg out, but boy, what a physical run. Just keeps on going on, makes contact there. You mentioned Whaley on the stop, 15. But they're going to stretch Jamie and Theodore out here.
Well, that is not the guy that you want to see go down if you're this Baylor defense. Going to work on those cramps a little bit. Theodore, the Tennessee commitment. Mentioned it earlier. He had a couple of interceptions early in this game last year. Really kind of set the tone for Baylor with the way he played, and it was a game a season ago that sort of put him on the map. Now they're asking him to play more. We see him dealing with some cramps right now, but Baylor's asking him to play more. He's playing more snaps this year because they worked him in on the offensive side of the ball as well.
Well, Coach Kimmery told us he's our Travis Hunter. I'm like, wow, okay. You're going to call compare anybody to Travis Hunter, of course, the Heisman Trophy winner last year. That's pretty pretty high compliment. So you see Theodore running off the field, and as you mentioned, on the field a ton every Friday night, but certainly watching him get cramps with 9:31 to play in the third quarter is not what Baylor wants to see.
Chris Lloyd in the backfield with Elliott Drapeau. The Baylor 24-yard line. Big physical run by Drapeau, and here goes Chris Lloyd. He'll break a tackle. Lloyd inside the 10-yard line to the 9, and a first down for McCallie inside the Dr. Pepper Maroon zone.
Big push by that left side of the offensive line. Titus Teravainen and Jaden Hudgens-Key were able to create this hole for Lloyd to run through.
Joel Bradford said he's not the fastest guy, but he knows the blocking schemes. Here's Drapeau, the delay straight ahead inside the 5. Goes Elliott Drapeau. Second down and goal to go now for McCallie.
And again, Dr. Pepper Maroon zone, but you can feel McCallie riding a wave of momentum here, trying to get some points on the board to answer what Baylor has done early in this second half.
McCallie 5-1 on the year. Baylor at 5-0. Lloyd straight ahead. Lloyd to about the 3-yard line, and that's where he is stopped. Corey Faulkner getting up off the bottom of that pile. 8th play of the drive for McCallie coming up. They started at their own 20-yard line. Filion, who had the first McCallie touchdown tonight, is checked back in. Third and goal from the 2. Lamontang, the tight end, comes to the near side. Here's Drapeau. Touchdown, McCallie.
He just runs over Jordan Darren-Gia and Keaton Whaley. Looks like it could be a penalty marker, but it is the Food City touchdown so far. We'll see what they call. Hits 2 defenders. Little celebration after the touchdown, possibly. We'll see if he gets in a dead ball foul.
Well, still waiting on a word from our white hat.
So the play is a touchdown. After the play. It's number 12. That 15-yard penalty is assessed on the kickoff.
So the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against McCallie will be assessed on the kickoff.
Got to keep the emotions in check, but it is awfully hard to do that if you're in this cauldron and you're 16, 17 years old.
Ben Brewer out for the extra point. And offsides goes against Baylor. So we'll try this again with Ben Brewer. Ben Brewer to close McCallie to within 3. And the extra point attempt is good. 24-21, Baylor with a lead. McCallie back on the board after giving up 24 unanswered. The Blue Tornado find the end zone. 7:44 to go in the third. Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial. Baylor with a 24-21 lead over McCallie. 7:44 remaining in the third as you get a look at the stands. What a night it has been. Baylor raced out, or McCallie rather, raced out to a 14-0 lead. Baylor came roaring back with 24 unanswered, and McCallie finds the end zone to make it a 3-point game, 24-21. Chris Goforth, Scott McMahon, Mackenzie Johnson with you from Spears Stadium at McCallie.
Another Aspire Dermatology kickoff.
We've had a few of those tonight.
Not many returned.
No, we haven't. Both kickers have shone off the leg tonight. Brewer set to kick it away. Gabriel George, Caden Dewey, the deep men for Baylor. This will be a short kick taken by one of the up men at the 35. Looking for room to the 40. Midfield, look out. He's on the run. This is Colby Barrett. Takes it into McCallie territory. Brings it to about the 42, 43-yard line, depending on where they spot it.
I think that penalty, obviously, on the unsportsmanlike really changed your mindset because Brewer had been just banging them into the end zone, and you weren't close enough to do it that time, so you try and get the element of surprise, and Kobe Barrett was ready and returned it for a huge gain for the Red Raiders.
Baylor starts this drive at the McCallie 43-yard line. Gabriel George in the backfield. He has 2 rushing touchdowns tonight. And Baylor late getting a player on the field. That's Judah Smith. And Smith comes in motion along with Caden Dewey, and Baylor's going to have to call a timeout. That play clock was just about to expire on him.
Timeout, Baylor.
Stay tuned. Coming up later in tonight's game, we'll be highlighting our school bus stop of the game. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. It's our school bus stop of the game. Got a couple of candidates for that tonight. We showed you the McCallie crowd a moment ago. There's a look at the Baylor crowd. Hall of Fame quarterback Peyton Manning in attendance tonight. Tennessee baseball coach Tony Vitello is here. Of course, Tennessee baseball in town. They're playing at AT&T Stadium tomorrow.
Yeah, I see them still sitting beside each other talking. Wish we had a microphone up there.
Peyton Manning's son, Marshall, an 8th grader at Baylor. He is dressed out tonight. As Scott mentioned earlier, wearing number 16. And if you were wondering which one he was, Scott, in warm-ups, when you watch the kid throw, there's no doubt that he's got the same throwing motion as his dad. Dewey goes in motion across the formation. Cherry drops it off short. Close to a first down. Colby Barrett pulled it in the flats and then motored up the far sideline.
Gabe Abercrombie runs him out of bounds, but Garrett, since they had Jamie and Theodore with the injury, Barrett has come in a big way.
Let's look at Marshall Manning.
Yeah. Kind of looks like Peyton, as he should.
Second down and short from the 35. Gabriel George makes one miss, makes two miss. He'll spin his way for a first down to the 30-yard line.
It's almost like anything below his waist, he just kind of brushes off like it's no big deal. I mean, that defense is trying to attack him, and he just smooth. You know, we had a friend describe him as a Jahmyr Gibbs-like, but Jahmyr Gibbs for the Detroit Tigers, of course, former Dalton Catamount. But Gabriel George is 6 foot 205, so he's even way bigger than Jahmyr Gibbs.
And here he comes again to the 25-yard line.
Ryan Muxlow on the stop.
And I think that's one of the things, Scott, that makes him so tough is, you know, Gibbs was a hard guy to get on the ground because of the shiftiness and that stop and go that he had and that 0 to 60 acceleration. David Gabriel George has all of that in a 205-pound frame.
Yeah, that's the difference, and it's scary.
And this guy, by the way, he's just a junior. So high school teams in Tennessee and Division II, Class 3A, they've got another year of dealing with him. And here he is. Spins away from one, gets away from two, and a nice job by McCallie. It was Gabe Abercrombie that finally got him on the ground.
Muxlow made contact. Abercrombie made contact. Looks like we got a penalty marker on the field.
Holding against Baylor.
And you mentioned David Gabriel George. He's being recruited by Tennessee, Ohio State, Georgia, Michigan, Texas.
Can you just say everybody? I mean, can we just say everybody?
Every human being that you and I.
After the mark-off of the penalty, 2nd and long now for Baylor. Gabriel George, he can make up ground in a hurry, gets inside the 30, and a nice open field stop by Baylor.
Muxlow, Ryan Muxlow with a one-on-one lower leg tackle.
Muxlow in his first year as a starter at McCallie. Nice open field stop on David Gabriel George, and it brings up a 3rd down and long now for the Baylor offense.
And this McCallie sideline is exploding. They're into it big time.
Cherry will throw on a 3rd down. Being pursued
big
now.
Pressure.
Cherry puts it up and has to throw it away. He had nowhere to go with the football, and McCallie was bearing down on him quickly.
But have the ability to throw it away and start back at the line of scrimmage was pretty fortunate there. A big hustle play and a tip of the cap to Xavier Wade. Xavier Wade, a guy who's being 74. Let's take another look at it. As they're chasing Cherry around left and right, 74 comes back to help him out. Right there with a big block on Jaden Hudgens' key. 74, Xavier Wade, 6'4", 290. He's number 62 when it comes to the 24/7 players list in the state of Tennessee. Being recruited by Syracuse, MTSU, Kennesaw State. Offers from all three of those teams.
Sam Shutters from 45 yards away to extend the Baylor lead. And again, the play clock down to 0. And this will be a delay of game. Against Baylor. Well, how does that change things now?
Now it's a 50-yarder. And I'm not sure.
Well, Shutters is also the punter. So he stays in, and Baylor will see if Shutters can pooch this thing down inside the 5 and angle it towards the corner.
And I can tell you, Coach Kimmery, when we spoke to him, we're like, yeah, Coach, talk about your kicker. I hate kicking field goals. He's all about some 6-point runs, and just would have probably taken one there from the 45, but not from the 50.
Shutters with a line drive punt angled towards the left, and what a kick by Sam Shutters.
That is impressive.
Mark it out at the 5 line. That's
Wow.
exactly what Baylor wanted, and a great job by Shutters.
Great job by Shutters. That is very impressive.
A break in the action. We'll step aside. Baylor 24, McCallie 21, 5:02 remaining in the third. Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial. Baylor with a 24-21 lead over McCallie on our Dr. Pepper scoreboard. 5:02 remaining in the third quarter. McCallie scored on their last possession. Elliot Drapeau, the quarterback, with a 2-yard touchdown run to close the gap after Baylor had rattled off 24 unanswered. Baylor forced a punt on their last possession after taking over in McCallie territory. Sam Shutters with the roll to about the 5-yard line, and that is where McCallie takes over. First down and 10. Drapeau will take the snap in the end zone. He'll hand it off, and it's Chris Lloyd who pushes the pile out across the 10-yard line, give him about the 12.
By number 5, Chris Lloyd. Back on the play. Number 20.
Lloyd's a good 1-2 punch with Xavier Filiard.
Second and 4.
Sugo Nyako made the stop for Baylor. And here comes Lloyd again. Lloyd just a bruiser out to the 19-yard line.
Looks like enough for the first down. They'll move the chains.
If Filion is the lightning, Chris Lloyd is definitely the thunder in this offense.
Yeah, he's just a powerful back. Keeps those legs driving and does a really good job. Great feet and vision. Like you mentioned earlier, Coach said not the fastest guy in the world, but he'll give you his whole heart for a CHI Memorial first down. Very experienced senior, too. Came in the night with 7 touchdowns. About 4.5 yards per carry.
Here he comes again. Right into that Baylor defense. Cos DiMatteo, the linebacker, in on the stop. It's 3 straight carries here for Chris Lloyd. McCallie started this drive back at their own 5. Ball moves up to the 22-yard line. Lloyd will come out and get a breather. We've seen 2 quarterbacks tonight for the Blue Tornado. Drapeau, the senior who's in there now. Fortier, the sophomore, has also seen some snaps tonight. Here's Drapeau. Loading up, going deep. Overshot his man. Penalty flag comes out.
Contact with him and the defender, which is Jamian Theodore, who's cramping up again.
Tabato was wide open there.
That was one-on-one. Just worthy of the highlight film. Both those guys will be playing on Saturday. We told you Tabato, number 1 right there. He's committed to Vanderbilt, 6'1", 180. And then we've been talking about Jamian Theodore all night, 6 foot 170.
It's pass interference against Baylor.
First down. Tabato, the number 11th player in the state of Tennessee, according to 24/7.
And we mentioned Theodore earlier, the fact that Baylor's having him play a lot both ways. We saw some cramps from him earlier and dealing with, looks like, some cramping again.
I don't know, at this point, you might just want to choose one or the other, and I'd say they'd choose defense if they had to just have him play one side of the football, but I'd say he's in a point now where that's too much activity. You can see him in some real pain. Those cramps are no joke. You did some pickle juice stat.
Fortier in at quarterback. He's got a 90-yard touchdown pass to his credit. Baylor's best cover corner just left the game. Let's see what Joel Bradford and the McCallie offense have dialed up here with the sophomore quarterback in.
Got two speedsters on either side, wide out.
They'll run it, Filion. And Filion gets wrapped up and brought down. Hans Emery Julian among those on the stop for Baylor.
They switch back to Drapeau now. That had some sort of meaning of him getting one snap and it's a handoff. They're showing him something that'll come home to roost down the road, I'd bet.
Drapeau back in again. Jamie and Theodore not in the game. You just got to think, if you're McCallie, why not test that secondary? And here's Drapeau again, and he will be stuffed. Nice job fighting off his block and getting in there and making the stop by Jaden Arenas Michael.
Yeah, he is a large man, 6'4", 280. Great play as he was being blocked. Just went through the blocker and made the stop.
Arenas Michael added pounds this offseason, and he puts that to good use.
He's an MTSU commit. Number 43 on our 24/7 sports list of seniors in the state of Tennessee.
Under 2 minutes to go now in the third. Drapeau once again, Filion straight ahead. Filion to midfield and a first down. Big run by Xavier Filion. And McCallie doing what they do, Scott, just pound.
Yep.
Relying on an offensive line that Joel Bradford says is the biggest he can remember. They go about 6'4" and 300 pounds across that front for McCallie.
Keeps the clock moving, but more importantly, keeps David Gabriel George and Cherry off the field.
Filion again to the Red Raider 45.
Oh, a little extracurricular here.
Personal foul on the offense, number 78. 15-yard penalty.
Personal foul against McCallie.
Be first down.
And that's Musa Sek, who is 6'4", 335, going up against Osenda, 6'8", 320.
Oof.
I mean, those two tangling is unbelievable, but Sek called with a penalty. A little too much action.
Osenda now shifts over to the other guard slot, so he's head up on Jaden Hudgens' key. Fortier in. Finds his open man at the 45-yard line and out of bounds, shy of the sticks. And the first down, Levi Scott, the freshman, made the catch.
Levi Scott, boy, he's going to be something. Already is something, but he's really going to be fantastic the older that he gets.
How about the zip on the throw from Fortier?
Yeah, Fortier's got a cannon, man. That thing gets on you in a hurry. Levi Scott either catch it or eat it.
Fortier will hand it off.
Look at that push.
That's Chris Lloyd driving those legs forward.
Caden Lockhart, Musa Sek in there. Lockhart's the center. He had a great push on that defensive front.
Lockhart, a second-year starter. He's just a junior, so he'll be back again. This is an experienced group up front for McCallie with Hudgens, Key, Sek, and David Sapicki, a couple of guys that have played a lot over the years. Titus Tervanen, who's the left tackle at 6'4", 295. He just arrived at McCallie in mid-July. Personal foul goes against Baylor. And with a minute left in the third, McCallie sees the football move inside the 25-yard line after the mark-off. Louis Fortier, the sophomore, in at quarterback. Lloyd gets upended.
Upended by Keaton Whaley. But not until he picks up huge chunky yard on first down.
Brings it inside the Dr. Pepper maroon zone.
It's about 5.
Whoop.
Whaley comes in at 5'9", 185. Torpedoes him to the ground.
McCallie does not have to snap it again in this third quarter. They can let this thing wind all the way down and take it to the fourth. Drapeau will hand it off. Filion caught behind the line by DiMatteo. And he is dropped on the final play of the third quarter. Let's go to the fourth. A 3-point game. Baylor has the lead. McCallie's knocking on the door. We'll return on Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals, presented by CHI Memorial. Back at the McCallie School, the Blue Tornado trailing Baylor 24-21 as we open up this fourth quarter. The McCallie offense faced with a third down at the Baylor 15-yard line. This is the 12th play of the drive for McCallie. They started at their own 5-yard line. We've seen both quarterbacks for McCallie on this drive. Here is Drapeau on the option to the left side, the pitch out. Filion to the 5 and out of bounds. Should be enough for the first down.
Great running by Filion. Stopped by Jordan there in Gia. Also Maxim Sigoniak.
It's a first down and goal for McCallie at the Baylor 5-yard line.
Nice option game. That looked a thing of beauty. Real close to the, as you said, first down inside the, looks like right about the 5. CHI Memorial first down.
Ball maybe at about the 4.5. Drapeau to the corner. Shy of the end zone. Drapeau goes down. Looks like about the 1. I don't know that you can get much closer, Scott, based on our angle here from the press box.
Let's get another look at it here on the replay. You're right, but he is down before he hits the pylon.
So the middle of the football, the ball is basically straddling the hash mark at the 1. Drapeau has Lloyd on his right hip. Lloyd to the corner. Lloyd reaching out, and he won't get in.
Slipped and fell before he could reach into the end zone.
The ball carrier.
That's twice they've tried to come here to the near corner.
Strung out well by Baylor defense, but that's just a slip and fall. Gets it to about the half-yard line.
Third down, and McCallie is mere inches from the goal line. Lloyd straight ahead, touchdown Blue Tornado. 15 plays, 95 yards for the Food City touchdown. Lloyd with the capper.
That is just what Joel Bradford wanted. Time-consuming, clock-eating, great, not many penalties as far as mental mistakes and things like that on that drive. And, of course, the big thing is a lead with under 10 minutes to play in this game. Could make it 4 here, 4-point lead.
Ben Brewer out for the extra point. The snap, the spot, and the kick, they are all perfect. And McCallie in front, 28-24, 9:58 to go in the game. Dr. Patty Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial.
Top of the game. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
Let's take a look at tonight's school bus stop of the game. Always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. No stopping or trying to beat the stop arm puts lives at risk and can result in large fines, points on your license, and license suspension. Our school bus stop of the game tonight. Briggs Cherry back to throw. And Gabe Abercrombie, the McCallie linebacker, bringing the heat for a school bus stop of the game.
Yeah.
McCallie puts together a 15-play, 95-yard drive. You get a look at Gabe Abercrombie. He's had a nice night.
Number 96, Ben Brewer, second kickoff for McCallie.
His Blue Tornado back in front. 28-24 with under 10 minutes to go. Baylor set to get the football back. Baylor scored 24 unanswered at one point in this game. The Aspire Dermatology kickoff. Baylor has David Gabriel George, Caden Dewey back to return it. And Brewer just bombs it. About 5 yards deep into the end zone touchback. And here comes the Baylor offense. That side of the field, if it can hold for another 9 minutes and 58 seconds, that mass of humanity will come racing onto the field.
Yeah, they will explode if they hold this lead.
Gabriel George in the backfield with Briggs Cherry, the quarterback. And it's Gabriel George who will look to bounce it out. Malachi Jacobs coming up and making the stop for McCallie. He was able to spin away from Jacob, but went right into the arms of Fisher Finch.
Yeah, French, nice big leader for that defensive front. There you get a good shot of him. All out all the time, Coach Bradford told us.
No gain. 2nd and 10 now from the 20. Off play action, Cherry throws over the middle, complete. The catch by Barrett, and Colby Barrett up to the 40-yard line, a gain of 20 and a first down.
Muxlow on the stop, but as you said, not until Barrett could pick up 20 yards. He comes in for Jamian Theodore, who has had the cramps. But Barrett's as athletic as anybody. He can play that wide receiver position. Nice route, nice separation. 20 yards just like that.
Cherry off play action. Being pressured now. He'll have to loft it up and throw it away.
Fisher French, what a great job of reading that play. He came up, made contact with David Gabriel George, and then was savvy enough to recognize that the screen was coming to George, so he stopped rushing the quarterback and played defense. And Cherry looked up, couldn't hit George, so we just threw it out of bounds. Well played, Fisher French.
Yeah, Fisher Finch with a interception to his credit already this season. Second down and 10. Here's George running through tacklers. First down and more. Look out. George, one man to beat. Touchdown Baylor. 60 yards. Scott, that is 100 and, well, hold on. There's a penalty flag.
We've got.
That is 100. If it stood, it would be 166 yards for David Gabriel George on just touchdown runs tonight.
Wow.
It's not going to stand.
No, it doesn't look like it is, but that's three. That would be 3 touchdown runs and 100. What'd you say? 160?
164.
164.
Don't cheat him out of his 4 yards.
I will not,
now.
sir. Not this man.
That young man's earned every one of those 164 tonight.
There is no doubt about that.
He's at 171 on 17 carries. He's averaging, 10 yards a tote tonight.
Man.
Big night.
He came in at, a little bit under 12 yards per carry.
Did they pick the flag up? Let's see.
It's on the defense.
David Gabriel George, the 60-yard touchdown run. His third touchdown of the game. $18 carries, 237 yards, and 3 touchdowns tonight for David Gabriel.
Man, what a massive player this guy is. Let's get another look at it. Look at him. They got him. But though he just stays on his feet. His balance is strong enough to not go down with initial contact. Makes a little cut. Frankly, just makes it look too easy. 6 feet tall, 205 pounds. With those kind of moves, that is freakish.
8:39 remaining. Baylor back in front, 31-28. And this thing's far from over.
I know.
This thing's far from over. Because that 8:38, 8:39, whatever it is, 8:39, that doesn't mean a thing in this game right now.
We could have 4 more scores.
This thing is far from over with these two. There you see the Baylor faithful on hand. The Red Raiders trying to get the road win against McCallie. Now, that was a face mask penalty against McCallie. So, JP82 will kick it off from the 45-yard line on McCallie's end of the field.
So we actually saw that there's a wagering line. 53.5 on the over and under.
I hope you took the over, folks.
It's over now for sure.
I hope you took the over.
Unbelievable.
A2 will put it out of the back of the end zone. McCallie will start from the 20. Who determines that?
I have no idea.
Who does that kind of?
I mean, does Vegas care about Baylor McCallie?
I don't know.
I mean, it is the number 23rd team versus the number 25th team in America.
Yeah, hey.
Maybe they do. I don't know.
This game got some national attention across the country this week as these two teams, as Scott just mentioned, ranked among the top 25 in the nation. Drapol back at quarterback, and he'll keep it around the right side. Drapol and a shoot top tackle at the 30 saved it. It was Keaton Whaley.
He did save it. That was a great play fake. Had the defense, had me fooled, had everybody fooled. Watch this. It just looks like he has it. Drapeau pulls it out of his belly right there and takes off down the right side. You're so correct. If Whaley doesn't catch that, it might be problems for Baylor. Still a first down for the Blue Tornadoes.
And a gain of 15 for Drapeau, and he's looked good using his legs. Here's the option and the pitch out. Xavier Filion gets to the 40 and a gain of 5.
Pretty well read by Kobe Barrett, too, but still gains 6 yards or so on that play.
Well, this McCallie offense now. Joel Bradford talked this week about wanting to stay on schedule offensively, and they are doing that right now, staying ahead of the sticks. Here's Drapeau. Again, the quarterback shifty to midfield in the first down.
You know, the most amazing thing about this rivalry, too, is the fact that guys just dig deeper. They just, you know, they're sitting there going, oh, we're happy it's 28-24. Then all of a sudden, Baylor with an explosive play, and McCallie just digs individually, digs in their heart because they want to win so bad. The desire is through the roof. They start playing just out of their minds.
First time we've seen this formation, a two-back set. Here's the option, the pitch out to Levi Scott. Scott will step out of bounds into Baylor territory. He gets to about the 46-yard line. Well, that's the guy to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Next couple of years at McCallie. Levi Scott, the freshman, he along with the sophomore quarterback in Louis Fortier. There's a bright future on both sidelines moving forward. I know a lot of the private schools in Nashville would like to hear otherwise, but as Lloyd takes the handoff and goes straight ahead, these two programs aren't going anywhere.
No, they are not. Saganiaco with the tackle there, but, I mean, let's face it. What speaks volumes to everything about this is Peyton Manning and his son Marshall Manning visited both schools. Then Marshall chose Baylor. I mean, that shows you what these two programs have moving forward and what they've accomplished already.
Third down for McCallie. Lloyd tries to burrow forward, and it's a whole bunch of white jerseys there to stop him. They stand him up, Corey Faulkner, among others, and it leaves McCallie now with a 4th down and 1. They mark it now.
Power football here.
They mark it now to 4th and 2. That's Lloyd in the backfield with Drapeau. It's Drapeau. Wide open. Look out.
What a fake. What a gutsy call from Joel Bradford. What an unbelievable execution by Drapeau for the Food City touchdown. Everybody in this house thought he was going to go up the middle. And he fakes that and rolls it out wide open on the right side for the McCallie Blue Tornado touchdown. Let's get a second look. Just read it perfectly, Drapeau did. Man, tremendous play by Elliot Drapeau. 6'5", 210, and what an incredible play to take the lead back.
Hey, how about the high five with Keyshawn Tabito on his way into the end zone?
Yeah, that was pretty. Still have almost 6 minutes to play.
Yeah, look,
there's no telling what's going to happen.
We got a lot more. Well, the officials are discussing. We've seen a couple of celebration penalties tonight. They'll wipe this one off. No flag.
And I would hope that was not called because of that high five. That's a little too much, in my opinion. A lot of emotion in this game on both sides. You got to let them celebrate a little bit. I understand spinning the ball or doing some kind of dance, but a high five, glad he picked it up. Good call, Mr. Referees.
Ben Brewer's extra point. McCallie back in front. Look at Elliot Drapeau. He's had a good night running with the ball in his Blue Tornado. Back in front, Dr. Pepper, Friday Night Rivals, presented by CHI Memorial. It's a heavyweight title fight. Two really good teams going back and forth, trading blows in the second half. McCallie 35, Baylor 31 with 5:51 remaining. Crisco fourth, Scott McMahon, Mackenzie Johnson at a packed Spears Stadium in McCallie. It holds 4,000. They were expecting more than twice that many tonight, and I would say we got every bit of that and a few more.
None of them left. have left yet, I can promise you.
Brewer to kick it off. Gabriel George, Caden Dewey back deep. Neither one of those guys have really had the opportunity to show off much in the return game tonight. And Brewer will put this one about 5 yards deep, bring it out to the 20, and that's where we'll start. McCallie with a 7-play, 80-yard drive. Drapeau took it the final 42 yards on the touchdown run. 5:51 remaining now. McCallie with the 35-31 advantage.
It's incredible when it's billed. It comes, it delivers when it's hyped up like this.
Scott, we've seen a score on every drive of the second half but one. Baylor punted on their second possession. Every other drive has ended in points for both teams. Cherry with a screen up top to Dewey. And Dewey shoved out of bounds over on that far sideline. Caden Dewey, the 5'11", 170-pound senior. Jamian Theodore, the Tennessee commitment, left with leg cramps. He is back out there now. That's him, number one. Theodore did not play on the last defensive series for Baylor, and he wasn't out there on the last offensive series for Baylor as well. Of course, it was just a 3-play drive when David Gabriel George took it 60 yards, and here he comes again. George to the outside, look out. Penalty flag thrown as George caught from behind. That's a horse collar, and there comes the flag again. So there's 2 flags on this play, and boy, Scott, that's dangerous.
Yeah, it is. That's why they made that a rule. Super dangerous, so we'll see what happens. Maybe a hold or on Baylor. We'll see what the first call is initially, but that horse collar was obvious right here. Actually pulled him by his hair.
Got him by the hair.
That's the Troy Polamalu move is what that is. Get him by the hair and bring him down. Obviously, that's not going to feel very good either. Holding on Baylor.
So they picked the second flag that was thrown that we thought was a horse collar.
Right.
They picked that up.
And that's because the holding happens first.
Now that will be a spot of the foul and
on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Remain second down.
There's your hold right side of the screen. And there's your hair pull. Crazy.
Yeah, no flag for the horse collar. So it's second down and 7. George still in there. He's on the right hip of Cherry. Cherry being chased. Out of the pocket. Throws, finds his tight end, and Rain wide open. And Braxton Rain gets up to the 40-yard line and a first down for Baylor.
Rain, a big target, and he was open too, 6'6", 235. Sophomore, number 18. Big catch. Nice throw from Briggs Cherry. Get another look at it. Scramble, and then boom, right on target to Braxton Rain.
Rain, by the way, holding offers from Vandy and Louisville. And they expect a few more for him before the year is over. Incredible size. Here's Gabriel George. Gets away from 2. Gabriel George still on his feet to the 30-yard line into McCallie territory.
His balance, shiftiness, I keep repeating myself, but it's remarkable. It's unbelievable.
He's over 300 yards now, guys. We'll get the total coming up here in a minute, but David Gabriel George, it has been since Jahmyr Gibbs since we saw a rushing performance like this on Friday Night Rivals. And here he comes again. They go right back to the workhorse, and the ball came free. McCallie motioning, they've recovered.
Man, George just got smacked by the McCallie defender. Jarred the ball free. Looks like Baylor has recovered it, though.
Cash Freeman, the Baylor center, came up with the football. He's showing it to anybody that will look. Guys, I've got the ball.
Right here it is. Oh, gosh.
That was a 30-yard run by David Gabriel George on his previous carry. Baylor catches the break. Cash Freeman, who moved into Baylor from Asheville, North Carolina in his first year with the Red Raiders, and he comes up with the fumble recovery. Second down and 5. 3.5 to go in the game. Baylor on the march, McCallie in the lead. Cherry, again, being pressured. Throws on the run. He'll have to throw it away. So it's a third down for Baylor. Scott, it feels like both of these offenses, they've both been good today. I don't know what the numbers say, but they've both been pretty good on third down.
They have. You're right. Both been successful. Definitely 2-down territory right here.
Rain, the tight end, goes to the right. Here goes Gabriel George. Spins away from 1 at the 20, on his feet at the 15. He's got the first down before he finally gets dropped. And again, the Baylor offensively really good on third downs. Inside the Dr. Pepper maroon zone now. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 15. We understand David Gabriel George, the number is 277 on the ground.
All right. Unbelievable performance.
So not quite to 300 yet, but he is on the doorstep.
We got 2:45 to play.
He is the only Baylor running back we have seen in this game. Baylor asked for the timeout as the play clock was winding down. McCallie with the full complement of 3 timeouts. Baylor takes their first, so the Red Raiders have 2 over the final 2:35.
Do I get permission to sleep till noon tomorrow? This is unbelievable. I haven't done a thing and I'm worn out. It's got to be the way these people, they're Baylor fans, the McCallie fans, the emotions in it, the whole thing's just got to be draining on them. I don't care who wins. I'm worn out.
It's one of those games, if you don't have a dog in the fight,
and
you can get if you can get in the gate here,
right?
It's worth it. Maybe you bring a blanket or a lawn chair because you can't sit in the stands, and you go find a spot on the hill here and take this one in.
I'm just glad Sinclair and Friday Night Rivals allow us in the door.
No kidding. And that's questionable some weeks, depending on where we are. This week being one, but they were nice enough to let us in this earlier this evening here at McCallie. And, you know, again, you talk about putting 10,000 plus on campus, the amount of preparation that goes in to getting ready for
security,
this.
just the security is unreal.
1st and 10 at the 15. Gabriel George gets a couple. That will get the clock rolling here for Baylor. Gain of 2 becomes 2nd down and 8.
Little run of the clock here because if Baylor can score, obviously they don't want to give McCallie too much time.
Gabriel George looks for room at the 5, and he's dropped at the 5-yard line.
Going to be close to a first down.
Yeah, he's
first
right
and
on
goal?
the sticks.
Okay.
Right on the sticks. Should give him a 1st and goal. First and goal at the 5.
The old football cliche, whoever has the football last, could be the definition of the end of this game. Even if Baylor scores here, McCallie still can do some stuff. So.
Gabriel George cut down at the 5-yard line, no gain.
Malachi Jacob with a huge stop, kind of coming from behind on David Gabriel George.
McCallie in front by 4 with 1:13 remaining. Baylor at the 5-yard line.
McCallie wants a breath, and that means that Coach Ralph Potter drawing up something defensively here to try to get George on a stop. What a great play by Malachi Jacob. You know, Coach Bradford told us he wants to be a coach. Kind of showed on that play just the savviness of knowing what he's looking at. Hard worker, can call the defense. And as Coach told us, just makes the defense go. And that was a nice play to keep number 0 out of the end zone again.
Yeah, you want to know how much faith they've got in Malachi Jacob. Ralph Potter will let him call the defense sometimes because he's got that much faith in Malachi Jacob and his knowledge to allow him to make that call.
And Ralph's old school, so there's not going to be much, control given up. And that's how much he impressed, and of course how much he trusts Malachi Jacob out of his free safety position.
2nd down and goal at the 5-yard line. 1:13 to go. Gabriel George again. Bounces outside. Touchdown Baylor, penalty flag. This will be a holding call, I believe, on Baylor, and it may be coming back. So it becomes 2nd down and goal now from the 15-yard line. 1:07 remaining. Briggs Cherry, 2 of 2 passing on this drive. Barrett goes in motion to the right. They throw. Touchdown Baylor. Caden Dewey made the catch. The Food City touchdown.
Nice to be able to use David Gabriel George as a decoy. Caden Dewey comes up a little limping, but I mean, that's just well designed. Of course, accurate as he can be. Briggs Cherry on the throw, coming right at you. Defense really had no chance on that one, even though it was a pretty good effort from Loy Valad.
The extra point attempt is up and good. And Baylor back in front, 38-35 with 62 seconds left.
And nobody on this McCallie sideline is phased at all. It's almost like, okay, here we go. We got a minute 2 to go win this thing.
7 possessions in this second half.
Field goal would tie it. Make a note of that too, but
6 scores out of 7 possessions in the second half.
That is unreal. Unreal.
And we've seen a little bit of everything. We've seen Theodore with a 72-yard pass reception, Drapeau with a 2-yard run, Lloyd with a 1-yard run, Gabriel George with a 60-yard run, Drapeau with a 42-yard run, and now Caden Dewey with a 15-yard reception.
What about a 90-yard bomb from Louis Fortier?
That was back in the first half.
Oh, yeah. It's all blending together.
That was back in the first half.
Wow. Man. When the hype delivers.
Aspire Dermatology kickoff. JPA2 will kick it off for Baylor. McCallie again with Tabito and Scott. And A2. Well, he put it almost out of the back of the end zone.
Yeah. Thought it was going through the goalpost.
Yeah, he planted that one about 9 yards deep. Heck of a kick. So McCallie will start at their own 20-yard line. They're 80 yards away from the end zone. Ben Brewer has a long field goal this year of 43 yards. And a field goal would tie it at 38. Again, we got 62 seconds remaining. You want to think McCallie needs to get to about the 25-yard line for a field goal. Fortier, the sophomore, the pass is dropped by Scott and it's incomplete.
This clearly shows you what they feel about Fortier. Because Drapeau definitely didn't do anything to not be in there, but Fortier's a guy that's got a pretty big arm and a bright future.
Well, the sophomore will try to lead McCallie down the field. And there comes the penalty flags.
Like motion on the front, offensive front.
Penalty moves the ball back to the 15-yard line. Fortier in an empty set. Sets up, feels pressure. Down he goes. Fortier sacked. Corey Faulkner got him. And a timeout is asked for by McCallie.
Yeah, you got to call that now. 3rd and probably 18 here. Just big pressure from a whole host of Red Raiders. Corey Faulkner, you mentioned, number 9 in on the tackle.
It was the initial pressure that forced Fortier to move up into the pocket, and when he did, it was Faulkner was in position to get the sack. What a finish between Baylor and McCallie.
But the question is this a preview of things to come down the road?
You feel like, as we say every year, this is just round one. Just round one for these two.
But this would give McCallie, if Baylor pulls this off, McCallie 2 region losses. So that might mean that they're the 1 and the 3 seed and have to meet the 4 for the Blue Cross Bowl at Finley Stadium.
Yes. Filion back in, and that's Drapole back out at quarterback. Drapole. Complete drop. Went off the fingertips of Sugogniako, who could not pull it in. He tipped it, and then Tabato couldn't hold on, so McCallie down to their final shot here on a 4th and long at the 15-yard line.
Sugogniako there, number 20. Nice defensive play from the sophomore, 6'185". Get another look at it here. Tipped by 20, and Tabato almost had the completion. He couldn't find the handle on it.
That's Louis Fortier, the sophomore, coming back in on a 4th down play. Elliot Drapole, the senior, has come out, and look at the Baylor student section. Climbing the railing. Final play. Fortier on a 4th down. Brings him down shy of the 1st down. Got out to about the 26-27-yard line, and Baylor can take a snap and a knee with 38 seconds left. 2 knees and end this one.
Man, you see the Baylor administrators going, not yet, not yet. You know, last Friday night, how fast the Virginia people got on the field was almost scary, man.
Right.
Now, they don't have that many students here in the student section, but you can see them. They're getting rowdy over there in a big way.
Student section over there is almost completely emptied. They are on the sidelines, and they are ready to celebrate with a road win tonight against their arch rival. Cherry with the snap and the knee. And Baylor will get the win. The Red Raiders will stay unbeaten on the year. Baylor will go to 6-0. McCallie with the loss. They will drop down to 5-2, and McCallie goes to 0-2 in region play. And the head coach is set to shake hands at midfield, and here come the Baylor students. As Baylor gets the win, 38-35 over McCallie.
Let's not be stupid here. Let's not be stupid here. Bit of controlled party. You've got Baylor administrators out. Just back it up. That's enough.
Well, what does not disappoint? McCallie scores the first 14 to Baylor. We're off the next 24. And then the second half would just be a wild finish with 7 possessions, 6 of which resulted in points.
Wow.
Not counting that last McCallie possession, so I get 6 out of the 8 possessions in the second half resulted in points. Baylor a winner tonight over McCallie. Mackenzie Johnson visits with Baylor head coach Eric Kimmery when we return. Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial. Somewhere in that crowd, Mackenzie Johnson is standing by with Baylor head coach Eric Kimmery.
Coach, I know it wasn't an easy win tonight. You start off a little slow. You're not the home team. How did you pull it off tonight?
I think resiliency, character of our players. Credit McCallie. What a game. We knew they would fight back. They've got such a great character on their team. But, you know, at the end of the day, our O-line played well, and when you give the ball to zero, good things happen.
We talked about it earlier this week, but this is all Chattanooga talks about this week. How proud of you are your boys, and how hard was it to get a win tonight?
It's hard. I don't think we've won here since like 1996 or something, so it's a tough place to play against a great team. And what an environment for high school football. I think there's a lot of winners here. It's terrible somebody has to lose a game like this, but I'm certainly proud of our players and the resiliency they showed.
Gotcha. I got one more thing for you if you want to get your boys to pay attention real quick.
Hey, guys, come here. Hey, Baylor.
Go ahead, take it.
Uh-oh.
Baylor with a win tonight over McCallie. These two teams combined for 982 yards of total offense.
Wow.
All right, Dr. Pepper player of the game, guess who? David Gabriel George. Scott, how about 26 carries, 294 yards rushing, and 3 touchdowns?
Unbelievable workhorse, the speed, the quickness, the whole package, man. His future's just crazy good. What a performance tonight.
Big night for him, and a big night for the Baylor faithful as they get the win in a game that ended up having it to see runs. McCallie with a big run to start the game and a scoring run, and then, well, there you get a look at it. McCallie led 14-0 at one point. Baylor came back. They scored 24 unanswered before McCallie was able to get back on the board. And then, I mean, you see the second half and just how wild that was with those two teams. And Baylor comes out on top on our Scott's Furniture scoring summary, 38-35, your final tonight. There's a look at those numbers. Look at that, 293 yards rushing for McCallie, 282 for Baylor. And look at those total yards, over 500 for the Red Raiders, 460 tonight for McCallie. And McCallie held on time of possession of 26 minutes. And how about Baylor with 11 penalties?
Yeah, that's uncharacteristic, and you'll have to clean that up if there's going to be a rematch down the road. A lot of football between now and what that could be potentially. But what an incredible game, as I said during the game, when the hype lives up. I mean, when it lives up to the hype, man, it delivered tonight. Golly.
Both of these teams have bye weeks next week.
I'll bet.
They both need it. They both need it. They both need it after this.
I need a bye week next week.
We don't get a bye week. No, sir. You're back at it Thursday night, pal. There is no rest for you. Thursday night, we're at Boyd Buchanan as the Buccaneers welcome in Silverdale Baptist and the Seahawks visit. We'll have all the action for you here on the CW Chattanooga. That starts at 7. You can also stream the game on ChattanoogaCW.com. You can find us on YouTube as well on the News Channel 9 YouTube page. Scott, some final thoughts?
I'm worn out. I mean, just an incredible game. It was every bit that I thought it and hoped it would be. Just an incredible back and forth action. This is one of the best high school football games I've ever seen.
It's going to do it for us. 38-35, that's your final score. For Mackenzie Johnson, Scott McMahon, and our entire CW crew, I'm Chris Goforth, thanking you for being with us this week. We'll see you back Thursday night from Boyd Buchanan.